will be playing up at the moment, but while no one is here, and I'm talking to myself, just gonna welcome Sam Habib. I'm just trying to get your brother and everyone onto the stream now. Now I don't know how to do that because I've never gone live like this before without a link. Right, I'm gonna stop this link and no. Oh, here we go. And they should be on any second. Look, my twins there as well. See that, Habib? Yeah, there was two of us because there's one on the on my phone and there's one on the laptop. So there's two of me. But hopefully they should be coming on now. So
Assalamu alaikum. Are we live?
How you doing? Yes, we are. And we've got Habib here, and he's saying there's two of us because I was on my phone as well, sending you guys a link. So I had the laptop and that showing like two of me at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So this is that. Yeah, so we're live now. We've actually had like a few balls already bowled. So first of all, Assalamu alaikum, Hulk. How you doing?
Walaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah, I'm good. Assalamu alaikum to all the viewers. Assalamu alaikum, Umar. Yeah, I'm good. Looking forward to a good day or good night's play. Just need to set Father Alam up for his triple century, make New Zealand bat again tomorrow when I'll be back, and we're taking you through our victory.
Yeah, why not? Assalamu alaikum, Umar. How you doing?
Walaikum salam. Ready for another night of... I've already told you what in the green.
You sound so happy.
Oh, what's the highlights? What do you expect?
Sending the link to Cal, who's supposed to be with us right now.
Do you know what? When I was watching the highlights, when I was watching the highlights, I was thinking to myself, round of applause to anyone who sat through a whole night of that. Anyone that watched the full 85 overs, whatever, yesterday. Hat off to you.
That must have been quite difficult, innit? That must be quite difficult. I mean, I went to sleep after about I'll say half an hour, 45 minutes into the second session. I said, like, you know what, I need to sleep. And it was a bit unfair, even though I wasn't even doing the live. But I watched that much and I said, no, it's a bit unfair on my missus because for the last, yesterday was the third night in a row where, like, she can't sleep because I'm there watching the cricket or talking and everything. So I gave up. And this just today, when I said to her that I'm going up, she went, to do what? And I went, live video. The look wasn't great. Fasil says, salam lads. Walaikum salam. Assalamu alaikum, Cal. How you doing?
Walaikum salam. Alhamdulillah, I'm good. How are you? How's everybody?
Alhamdulillah.
Cal, you sound happier than me.
Yeah?
You sound happier than me, and I didn't sound very happy.
Have you heard that? You must have heard of that saying, yeah? Don't judge your book by its cover.
I have. What's your point?
It's the same story. So my face, I'm smiling, but inside, only I know what I'm going through.
It's got even worse now, isn't it?
We've done it so many times, man. You know what I'm saying? We're used to it now, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have forgot about it by in a few days' time when the next series starts. That's it. It'll be
Back in 1 second.
okay. It'll be all forgotten about, and then the new series will start, and then you know.
We hope.
Inshallah.
Well, it's all interesting stuff to happen, isn't it? Because we got Mohamed Wasim as the chief selector. So after this series, when we go back to Pakistan, we go back to Pakistan with a 1-1 from the Test series.
In which series? This series?
The one you're watching.
Okay.
Now, but when they go back home, yeah, it'll be interesting to see that with Mohamed Wasim coming in as the chief selector, what changes, if any, are made for the South African home series. But I think that, like at the end of the first test, yeah, when it was looking that it was going to be so difficult for us, I just want to see some fight today. Take it into the fifth day at the end of the day. Okay, yeah, he's
doing it. We have to. There's no option. But personally, all we need to pray for, is New Zealand drop 10 catches, innit?
Just 10. Do you want them to break our record?
Well, we have to, innit? We need someone to beat. We'd rather let them record off us, we're willing to leave that. We're willing to sacrifice, innit, basically.
That's it, Habib. Yeah, we've got high hopes. I hope so. Yeah, you just need Habib. You need to sort your brother out, Umar. He's down in the dumps, man.
It's because he's going to sleep.
We need to kick you off, Umar, and get Habib on here.
He's probably got online classes tomorrow morning, isn't it?
That's the one.
Start Islam, guys. Welcome, Islam. Big day today for some players. You know what? At the very least, we should see some fight. Because even, the game is, you could say the game's gone, but some of these players are playing for their future, and they need to step up. So let's see if they show the fight and the hunger and desire to stay in the team. Mo,
okay,
says
what's happened, but I think you have to fight. Like last match, obviously we lost it at the end, but there was fight. You know what I'm saying? There was fight later on in the innings. There was a fight. If we fought a little bit more, I think it would have been a different scenario. But
says hi. How about some fight? Exactly what we just said just now. 400 and take it to 50 rather than folding out 450, 200. Show some fight. It's the least we expect, isn't it? We expect the team to have some passion. Habib just says, "Huh."
Wa alaikum salam. Inshallah, Rahil. Inshallah. Taking it to day 5. So about all the views then, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that we're going to get to day 5 from the batsmen that we have from the the top order that's failed? Do you think anyone's going to stand up? Is anyone going to make a score? Is Mercurial Sean going to do anything, or Prashan as is being labelled?
He's out?
On social media? Is he out? Oh yeah, he was out yesterday, wasn't he? What am I talking about? Oh, he was out for a pair? In that case, no, he's gone, he's done.
He can eat biryani.
Hello, we've got Mohammed Abbas, hasn't he? He's going to stake his claim for to be the opener now.
Imran Khan says, "Can't believe I'm back for more battering."
It's like a drug. We're addicted to it. Win, lose, or draw. But that's the thing, isn't it? That you don't just support the team when they're winning. With it through it all, ups and downs. I've been watching Pakistan cricket for around almost 30 years now. Been through it all, up and down, up and down.
You're showing your age now, Kamar.
Yeah. No, you're experienced. I'm an experienced newcomer.
Oh, God. Saad Malik says, Haris 100, Fawad 150.
Inshallah. Fawad 300, man. Triple century. As long as he beats Kane Williamson's score, I'll be happy. You never know. Our team might not beat Williamson score.
4 from Abbas. Not Abbas, Abid.
You were doing it, man.
Of Southie.
Zed says, do you guys think that Waqas, Maqsood and Hassan Ali should be selected for the South African series?
Not Waqas Maqsood, but Hassan Ali should be considered.
Who's Waqas?
He's a left-handed, left-arm seamer.
Okay.
He's been bowling well in Qaid-e-Azam Trophy. He's similar. We can say he's a left-handed Abbas.
Oh, okay. But is he not? Is he young or?
I'm not sure how old he is. I think he's late 20s, mid-20s.
Okay, so he's not at the Naseem Shah's age, for example. Then no, he's not that young.
No.
No, the reason I'm saying that is that, you know, we're saying that with Naseem that he's been fast tracked in.
Yeah.
That we shouldn't do that yet. So, you know, we just need to take baby steps, kind of.
I'm back.
You're back and alive.
I don't know what happened, but there's something playing up with my internet. I don't know why I pay for fiber optic right now, but this last week it's been abysmal. But I can't see anything at the moment apart from
honorary Pakistani Billy Jones is here as well. Hello, Billy.
Sounds Billy.
I have an issue at the moment because I can't see any of the comments.
So we can see them. Do you want us to just read through them, or do you want me to log in as the admin?
Let's give it a couple of minutes, and if I can get through to them, great. If not, then we might have to do that. Okay. Maybe if I just turn around. Yeah.
So Zed says that Waqas is 33 years old. So obviously he's not an experienced newcomer, then is he?
He's really too experienced. Too much experience.
Hardik says that would you guys drop Naseem for the South African series? There is that. We were talking about that, weren't we, over the past few days, Omar, about, you know, do we send him back to kind of domestic to get a bit more experience and stuff? I'm just not really.
I wouldn't pick him for South Africa.
You wouldn't?
Abbas scores a run.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what we need. Yeah, at the moment I can't see any comments, but I've been told that things will improve. So I'm not gonna go out and go back in or anything like that at the moment. Okay. So what we 15 for what? No, 16 for one.
17.
I'm behind there as well. I'm having a great day, ain't I?
I'm ahead of the stream. We're 300 for one.
Acha.
Abbas has got 150.
Oh, wow. So guys, get your comments in. Let's just discuss something that I put up on Twitter a little while ago. I don't know if any of you have seen it. And I was just discussing, you know, them tapping each other's bums, giving each other high fives, say, don't worry about it, you dropped the catch or you bowled a no ball. Absolutely no issues. We all have an issue with that. I'm not saying bring him back. That let's get that part right. I am not saying bring him back, but my whole point of saying that was that someone like Sarfaraz, a captain like Sarfaraz, that personality, right? So I'm just talking his performances aside, everything else aside. People used to criticize him for being like shouting at players and everything. That's the sort of captain that we actually need, don't we? Overall, Pakistan needs a captain who is not just a captain, but he's like, how would I say? He's like a peer to them.
Right?
Yeah, leader, innit? Basically, leaders, you know, leader.
Yeah,
somebody to
he has to like guide him through every step. You know, like we do it with our bache and say, "Don't do this. This is naughty. Don't do that. That's naughty. You can do this." That's how I feel. Yeah, our players only learn when you give them that treatment. I mean,
without a doubt, obviously. Well, obviously, a captain's job is obviously to lead from the front, isn't it? And obviously, he's got to have the authority on the ground. if he's got no authority on the ground, yeah, then there's no point in having a captain.
Abbas
There's no
is
point
out.
him having that.
What?
Is he out?
Abbas is out, caught behind, but he's reviewed it. I didn't
Abbas
hear
is
it.
Oh, yeah. Imagine because I haven't seen it yet. Imagine a boss actually wastes a review. It'll be like the icing on the cake, wouldn't it?
No, but did he ask Abud?
No, he just
But-
reviewed it straight away.
No way. But then he must be confident.
Yeah, must
Yeah.
be confident then.
Oh, there's a noise, but we'll see on Snicko.
I've just seen it. He reviews it literally on the spot.
He's out.
Oh my god.
I mean, he's nicked that, hasn't he?
What was the point of the review then?
Why did he review that for?
I mean, literally, like, umpire goes up and he went,
At least go to the non-striker and ask him.
he was confident he hasn't nicked that.
But even if you're confident, yeah, you should still go to the non-striker. This
Bro,
is
that
all
was
this
the
is
last-
basic.
edges, bro.
You know, this test match
It's
is
a
just
massive
no-
edge. And like
Basic.
his bat is like, you know, at least probably
At
a
least you
foot
would
and a
go and
half,
ask.
2 foot away from the from his pad. It can't hit anything else.
At least you go and ask your partner, what do you think?
Yeah.
I'm actually
It's
looking at the
basic.
comments. I'm actually looking at the comments right now, yeah, on YouTube. So guys, I can't see them on this. I'm really sorry at the moment.
What review was worse, that or Sean's?
Mhm.
This one has to be worse. Sean,
Yeah.
okay, he's an opening batsman. It's a different story, yeah. This guy's 12th man, obviously, you know.
12th, man,
should
not
have-
even 11th.
Faisal
Well,
goes,
yeah,
at
he
least
said,
he's more than John.
I'm actually looking at the comments on YouTube, and Rohil says, "Best if this is not overturned because I can't see the chat." And he said, "Best if this is not out." Unbelievable. You know what? Sometimes they amaze you. They really do.
Come on,
But,
can you see can you see the writing?
Yeah, I can see the comments. Yeah.
Oh, I can't see the comments as well.
You know, I can see them. Yeah.
No, my one just says no internet, but then I'm talking to you guys.
Omar, can you see him?
Yeah,
Well, I can't see him as well.
on the side. Saad Malik says Fahim's was worse.
Yeah.
Faisal says at least he made more than Sean. That's not hard.
You made more than
So-
Sean for the whole match.
Yeah.
You guys can just keep reading the comments, see if there's anything up there. I can't post them at the moment.
Okay.
I'm trying to
Right.
sort it out.
Zaid Khan says our best number 3 is out. Oh my god.
Okay.
Abid plays an expansive drive against Saudi and misses it by that much.
So Muhammad Abay is saying, Imi's right, this Pakistan team needs to be on the toes every time. They need a captain who wears his heart on sleeve and keeps them on their toes. And for that matter, also Mickey as a coach is perfect. So, yeah, you know, you don't want someone who's too quiet, but you don't want someone who's completely at the other end of the spectrum, who's too, you know, in your face. You want someone in the middle, but you want someone to show a bit of passion and stuff, because this softly hugging approach here just doesn't work with Pakistan players, full stop. You need someone to give them a kick up the backside every now and again.
I think
And
Surprise was best in that sense. I
Yeah.
think he was perfect.
yeah.
He was just bang on right.
The Blazers has mentioned it a couple of times, isn't it? That our players are like kids. And you think about it, and it's actually true that on certain aspects, yeah, they are very childish, and it's that cultural thing as well. Yeah, we've all grew up with it. Yeah, with like, you know, our dads and mum saying, "Hey, Naka, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that." So, and we do it to our children as well. Yeah, so
God.
it becomes a cultural thing, and that's probably the only way they know that they've got to be told off, yeah, to know that they're doing something wrong.
4 from Abid.
sorry, just want to say, yeah, we've had a comment from someone called D who says, yes, Sheikh Kaleem.
And you have to pause us. Hulk, you have to pause, yeah, just to mention that in, yeah?
The comment was going down in it. I didn't want to forget it.
Okay. Okay.
Billy says that you say that, but Joe Root's soft, yet you don't see the England players slapping each other's bums. I think it's more down to culture mentality. Yeah.
No.
So that's 100% right, Billy. Yeah, because when you see England, if England drop a catch, yeah, on the rare occasions that they do that, yeah, they're not going to be all smiling and say all happy about it. Yeah, you will see the looks on their face. If Stokes drops a catch, for example, Stokes is going to be peed off about it. He doesn't need Joe Root or anyone yet to come and talk to him about it. He will be annoyed himself. But when you compare that to Pakistan, we drop a catch, smiling, hugging. What is that? At least have some pride, some passion. You know, even if you're dropping a number 11, you've still dropped a catch. You've lost a wicket. And that's the difference. It's definitely a difference in culture and mentality. You just need to have a kick up the arse, really, my opinion.
That's why I think a foreign coach is best, and a foreign coach will do that. But a Pakistani coach like Misbah, he's not going to do that. He didn't do that in his playing days. He's not going to do it now. And the players are going to turn around and say to him, "Who the hell are you?"
The thing with Misbah is that when he was captain, I think he was good man management as a player. Right, because he did get the best out of a lot. Because he came in on 2010, yeah, when we just been going through all that saga in England, and he turned the team around. And in 6 years, he got to number 1. And you can't just do that by fluking 1 or 2 games. He was consistent throughout. But I think going now as the head honcho, as the coach, he just doesn't have it there. So it's a completely different ball game, really. We've got Mohammed Awais saying Pakistan team always plays their best cricket when they have a strong captain. Yeah, like Imran Khan and Wasim Khan. Your thoughts about it? Yeah, 100%. We need to have a strong captain on the pitch because it doesn't make a difference what the coach or the batting coach or bowling coach say. At the end of it, there's 11 players on the pitch. So it's entirely up to them. Faisal saying their behaviour is the same every tour. Shame it's different day for years. I think it's just there's been a bit of a change over the past year or not, would you say, Umar? In the behaviour?
As in negative or positive?
As it's gone down to this kind of hooky kind of thing.
100%. 100%. I think.
Yeah. Nasser makes a good comment. We've got to get away from this Baya and Chacha mentality and be more professional. That's 100% right. That last bit there, Naz, about the professionalism. A lot of our players, don't understand what professionalism is. You just look at how many players, when something happens, they don't like it. How many of them go running to the media?
I wanted to speak about. That's what I was going. When you were talking about the behavior.
Yeah.
Ever since Mickey and Safraz have gone, it's like there's been grouping in the media, in the team. Some are for Misbah, some are against Misbah. Some are talking about Mickey, some are talking about Safraz. Safraz in the team, he's not in the team. It's like he was bloody Imran Khan. He wasn't that, he won us the Champions Trophy, but it wasn't like he was scoring hundreds every game.
Yeah.
When's the last time he made a decent score and he won us again?
Who's that?
Safraz.
Who's that, sorry?
Safraz.
Yeah. I mean,
just get past it. But I think, one thing. I think, Babar, he's going to be a Safraz type captain. I think he's gonna make some mistakes at the start. He's gonna put the boot up the backsides. I think that's the type of captain he's gonna be, because you can already see, even in the training sessions, he's always there. He's in the game. He's always talking to the players. I think he's gonna be a hands-on captain. That's what I think.
I don't think he's got that much aggression in him.
I think he will do, because even if you look in the T20s. I know some people are saying.
Yeah, at one stage he went mad on Harris, I think it was.
Yeah. But you know what? Even Safraz did that at the start. Remember in the West Indies tour, in his first tour, he was screaming and shouting, and then after a bit, he calmed down. I think Babar will take some time to learn, but I think he'll be okay.
Crazy with the power. Just before it goes down, goes off my screen, Billy's saying, I want your opinion. Don't you feel Pakistan batsmen sometimes are stuck on the crease, even if the bowler's only bowling 135 kilometers? No positive intent, like big stride forward and playing the solid defense.
Because you can be positive even in defending.
Yeah.
Guys, the comments that are coming like this now, these are all the comments I can see. So we have to follow him this way today, because that's all I can see. I can't see it from the chat today for some apparent reason. So we'll have to just follow him as we go along from here. So Billy also says, yeah, other teams are stepping out to pack bowlers and show no fear. I think that's mostly to
Abbas.
يعني ما تجيبه.
Saad says with Zed,
Well,
Misbah should be given time 9 test series this year.
بقول
9 test matches, I think he means this year. Most are at home. Misbah and team could go on a winning streak. I was just looking at the fixtures, and we play Australia, New Zealand, South
come on,
Africa
let's go.
in the next 2 years, all at home.
Right hot.
And our away series are against
Right hot.
West and England, I think it is. And, you know, we got away series are against Sri Lanka, against West Indies, etc. So if you look at the fixtures,
Where's the charger?
our tough away tours are basically done. Zad Misbah came in our first test series. Ahmed Wahab retired and Hassan was injured. You can't blame that on Misbah, can we? Anyone? I mean, someone getting injured and other people retiring. I mean, that's not Misbah's fault, is it?
No, I mean, even if there was a disagreement between Misbah and Amr or Misbah and Wahab, you know, it should be worked out. It should be worked out amicably. You know, it's not the first time yet that we've heard of, oh, there's problems between players and management, that they don't see eye to eye for whatever the reason was. It's not the first time. And for people to kind of pull out, I think that was just before the Australia series as well, which is obviously, you know, that's like one of the biggest series, and you have 2 of our main bowlers out. Shocking that was.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Jordan, Safras calmed down, Wayne. Safras never calmed down, but that was just my opinion on Safras as a captain. I'm talking about, or as a personality of a leader. And if you look at our history, Imran, Miyadad, Wasim, Inzi, even Misbah, they're all no-nonsense captains, were they? They none of them took any sort of nonsense. Hadi, do you guys agree that Abbas hasn't done anything on this tour? He hasn't. And if you look at his initial, if you took his like career as half, and you took the other half, there's world class, and then it's very average. Ooh.
So, Imi, can I just answer Billy's question that he's put there before it goes off?
Yeah, go on.
So Billy's saying that teams even took Naseem to town, so I don't think it's just Abbas. Other teams aren't afraid to lose their wickets. Yeah, are majorly gung-ho, and look how Stokes backs, how positive he is, how positive gung-ho he plays. So I agree with you that it's not just Abbas who New Zealand have been stepping out to. I think the problem is, if you look at the first innings, when we bowled and New Zealand were playing tentatively, and that was because of the pressure that Shaheen and Abbas created. And then we had the second change bowlers, but because they had that pressure or built up on them, they weren't able to step out. But now this test match, when all the catches going down, there's no pressure.
Didn't you see that feeling there?
No, wait, so let me just finish this here. There's no pressure created, and because there's no pressure, then the batsmen are more freer to play. So I think that, you know, however much we hype up our bowling, there is a chance that the whole thing's just been blown out of proportion. Really, it's been overrated. Shaheen is brilliant, and I'm sure he will get better and better, but he's not going to be able to get there without the support. Full stop. Same with Abbas. You know, if you have all those catches, you know, Williamson was dropped 2 times, Nichols was dropped, I don't know, 4 or 5 times or whatever. Yeah, the whole thing needs to come together. But yeah, I don't think our bowling is where we believe it to be in our minds, and I think there's that biased kind of view perspective on it. The thing that was shocking for me was that when we came to England about 6 months ago, we thought, okay, yeah, we're going to do really well here. When you look at the figures at the end from our pacers, they weren't that great. They were barely average across the board, and I don't remember us dropping loads of catches there. Okay, rant over. Sorry, Kaleem.
Well, I was just saying, yeah.
Vas actually put up a point before it just goes. I can't read the whole thing now, but he was just saying that a captain should have more authority. It's not football.
Oh my God.
Which is quite true. A captain is the one on the field. He's answerable. So I actually agree with that. Go on, Kalim. You carry on.
So basically, what I was trying to say, they've got New Zealand have got what 300 or something lead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see how he just fielded there
Yeah, in gully.
in the gully? Yeah. If that was out,
That's
it
where I
was
went
longer.
like this. That's where I went like this. And you know that reaction was like, yeah, you're 300 in the lead, yeah. Let us score a few runs, man. Like,
No, but it just shows the intent in it.
Yeah.
It just shows the intent. It doesn't matter what score they've got of a lead, but look how they're still, the intent.
The desire.
If that was our players, yeah, they'd think, nah, we got plenty of runs, no problem. We don't.
You know, when I was a kid and I used to watch cricket, yeah, Pakistan was the only team. Let's just move my camera back so it's short. Whenever the ball came to them, yeah, they'd go like this. They'd point to the field or somewhere else. They're the only ones, yeah, I'd ever see doing that. No one else, yeah. Whereas you look at any other team, yeah, they run
You know
up.
what they're doing? They're telling the next man in it, 12th man.
You know what?
You look
I
at any other team, run
that
back to
they'll
it.
do it.
You look.
They're giving the 12th man exercise, isn't it?
I once saw Chris Gale do it, yeah, as captain for West Indies. The ball went right past him. He looked at the other cover field and he went, "Go and get it." And I remember just thinking to myself, "This is what our players do." You know that?
That's what authority, how much authority you got.
It was like an Inzi thing. Inzi used to do it as well. Like, I ain't running for that.
Yeah.
But do you know what's funny? Inzi for years used to field in the outfield, in the death overs.
Really?
Yeah, on the boundaries.
Sure.
That's because you don't have a slip in the death overs.
Billy just had a comment, but I can't really read it at the moment. I'm just saying from evidence, this Pep Bowling performing recently. I mean, their forms have been poor. I mean, there's no hiding about it. The form has been very poor. Fasson got 3 legends talented in the coaching team, but some may say many coaches in the first team. Others would say they ain't improved. And who? Listen, you know what? Sometimes too many voices means too many mixed messages.
No. So I think that the thing there is that, first of all, you're absolutely right. We've got 3 legends, okay, in the backroom staff. Just because you're a legend when you're playing doesn't mean you're good at coaching. No matter what sport you're looking at, cricket, football, rugby, badminton, whatever. It's a different mindset when you're coaching. It's not about being brilliantly on the pitch itself. And I think that's part of the problem, that some of our players think that they were really good playing. I'm going to be a brilliant coach now. But have they got the level 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever coaching certificates they need, or do they just walk into it?
You know what it is? You get there's so many coaches out there what have not been good players and they've been really good coaches.
God.
Yeah. Like I would think you look at your beloved Amy Fergie. He wasn't the best football player, was he?
Yeah.
But he was a brilliant coach, brilliant manager, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, he's a brilliant manager. He wasn't even a coach. He always had an assistant who took training.
Yeah.
But if he had authority of such a person that if he asks his players to run through bricks, they'll say, how hard do I need to run through this brick?
Yeah.
That's the authority you should have. Someone just asked, what time you lot here to? We're definitely doing the first session. Dr. Akbar was saying that he's available to do all night, but then he'll need some support. He'll need some support.
I think
I've got nowhere to go.
I think me and Kamar are going to stay on.
Want to sleep. I'll be watching the game. Problem is, I'll be watching the game until as late as possible, but I can't be on the stream for too long because
the bata comes out.
Can't sleep in. And downstairs, I can't sleep downstairs because I've got family. I've got a disabled sister who sleeps downstairs. So if I'm downstairs, it'll be quiet. The TV will be on, and I'll be talking. They won't be able to sleep in the room next. So I can't go downstairs, and I can't be in my bedroom. So unless I do it from the staircase and pretend I'm watching the game, it's not happening.
Who's the England coach at the moment?
Chris Silverwood.
Okay, so Billy's saying that, do you know who the England coach is? Because the coach doesn't have to be a big name or small name. It just depends on the job. Just look at Trevor Bayliss, crap player, good coach. 100% right. You don't need to be a legend of the game. You just need to be good at coaching. It's a different skill set.
He's done his badges. He done all his coaching courses. Went to Yorkshire, done a good job there, and he got the England job. So
You know what? After this year, I'm going to go for my badges. I think I could do it. I'll give him a kick up the backside.
I mean, at the very least, I mean, like, we'll be able to tell him, like, you catch the ball. So,
but you know what it is? There've got to be some kind of criteria, what they should follow before they put, appoint somebody, especially for the, first team coach. Like, okay, Misbah was a very good batsman, a good captain, he was a good player. But has he had any coaching experience? No. Has he done any coaching at all? No, he hasn't. Yeah. So what they could have done is give him a bit of experience. Yeah. Made him do maybe first class coach a team of first class. Maybe in the PSL. Yeah, and seen what his coaching skills are, and take it from there. Then maybe put him into the deep end instead of just chucking him straight into the deep end. You can't even blame him as well at the same time.
Cal, chucking him in the deep end and taking 5 rolls.
Exactly, and not with one roll.
You get 5 salaries.
I've just seen Omar's comment. Will the series performance affect Pakistan mentally in the home series against South Africa? They've just beaten Sri Lanka 2-0. It's just bound to affect them, isn't it? I mean, you can't say like they'll just say brush it aside and walk on.
See, the worst thing about it is, if it was maybe we was going back and starting with 2020s, and maybe if we won that, then maybe it would have been a little bit of a different ball game. But because we're going straight into test straight away, it's going to be it's going to be like a big ask.
I'll tell you another thing that will affect us against the likes of South Africa. If we were playing them in the UAE, we would say, you know what, we're going to spin them out, and they haven't got the spinners. We're playing them in Pakistan, and we've made these Pakistani wickets where we play 3 seamers and 1 spinner now. So all of a sudden, these away teams, it suits them as well to come to Pakistan because there's always something in there for the seamers now.
For me, I think Sean, without a doubt, is straight out. Yeah, I don't even think he should get another chance. Mm-hmm. Yeah, before he even gets to Pakistan, I'd
holding
say
himself
he's out of the team
on the skin of his teeth right now. If he goes and gets a big score, then you know what, all of a sudden they might say,
he's done now. How can he can't get a big score? This test match done. He's already out. Yeah, so now obviously
Abid. I'm talking about Abid.
Abid, yeah. With Abid, you could say he did a little bit. He took time in the crease. Yeah, he made a bit of runs. But Sean's done nothing.
Twice he's been hit, yeah, and then he's got out straight after that.
Got out. Yeah, but with Sean, look how much catches he's dropped. His fielding's been ridiculous. Yeah, and then his batting. He says it all in it. There's nothing.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, there's nothing what he's done in any of the games. Yeah, what could say, no, we'll give him another chance.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
I mean, the same with Harris. I mean, unless he goes and pulls off something today, it's one of them. Yeah, where but then again, I don't think even a century saves Harris because
Harris, Harris,
yeah.
With Harris, I personally, I don't know what you lot think, but I don't even think he's a test player.
Well, Harris,
he hasn't got. Yeah, I don't think he's got it. He's not got the technique. Yeah, he's not got the defense. Yeah,
it's the mentality thing.
He hasn't got it in him to be a test player because test player, you need a lot of patience and you need a lot of defense mode. He hasn't got that. He hasn't got that defense mode in him.
No, I agree with you.
You can't be a test player if you haven't got that mode in your batting or your technique. You can't be a test player. That's what my personal thing is. What I've seen of Harris, I don't think he's a test player.
No. All right, so just moving on a bit. Yeah, just answering one of the questions that's dropped off at the bottom from Billy. No, we don't think that you're targeting Pakistan or anything. Yeah, we appreciate you having been on this joining us on this live stream. Yeah, and we more than appreciate the comments and the critical questions and
Analysis.
feedback and stuff. Yeah, so that's absolutely fine. Just going up to Malik Hussein, which says that no, Abbas is the best test bowler right now. I don't know whether that's you're trolling or what, yeah, but no way is Abbas the best test bowler right now.
Maybe
I don't know
maybe a
what,
year or two ago, yeah, but not now.
but we're talking about right now. No chance is he the best test bowler
Yeah.
now.
I think he's talking about us, but I think Shane's better than him.
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
even now he's not. He's not now. He's not. He used to maybe about 2 years ago, a year
Yeah.
ago. He was one of our best bowlers, but not
I
now.
don't think he has it now. I think that maybe
I think since
teams have sussed him out, maybe.
and plus I don't know with a lot of our I don't know if you realize is when a lot of our players get injured, when they come back, they're not the same again. He got injured. I think he had that whole shoulder injury. Is it?
Who, Abbas?
Didn't he? He had, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure
something,
about it. Yeah, he had a shoulder injury, didn't he? And
And
after that, he's come back. He's not been the same again.
probably affected him when they tried to make him into a one-day bowler.
Yeah, do you remember that? Take him to
Yeah.
the World Cup.
They're trying to take him to the World Cup. Yeah, forget about English conditions.
Oh yeah, it was in
It's
England. wasn't it?
hilarious. And that was under Mickey.
The thing is, yeah, the thing is that the coaches and stuff, yeah, they'll always make mistakes. That you have to try different things. You're always going to make some mistakes, but the thing is that when you make a mistake, you don't shy away from them. You stand up in front and you say that, I made this decision. It was a mistake. We're going to learn from it and move on. And I'm just going to quickly talk about, the absolutely pathetic thing that happened yesterday after the day's play when Naseem Shah and Zafar Gohar were sent, for the press conference.
Oh my God.
In my 30 years of
You know what
watching,
that
it's not just a cricket thing. It's just a corporate business thing. Yeah, you've had a very bad day. Yeah, why would you send the two kids out?
they don't want the
day we
humiliation.
yeah.
They knew they're gonna get questions asked, and they're gonna get humiliated, So they just thought,
no leadership.
nah, we can't
There's no leadership there whatsoever. Yeah, so whatever you say about the management, that for me was a final nail in the coffin. And I don't really like abusing saying anything against the management that much, because we don't know what goes on. Sorry, Amy.
Just on that, who remembers the Champions Trophy group game, the first one, Pakistan India?
I saw that today.
We absolutely got murdered in that game. Press conference, what happens?
Mickey and Safraz
went out. You don't throw the other players under the bus. They went out and said, you know what? Hands up, we played poorly. We're going to try to improve. But they took it on themselves as responsibility. This is ridiculous. How could you? You're sending the kid that's 17. And again, I'm going to keep saying it doesn't matter if he's aged, a couple of years here or there. It doesn't matter. And then you're sending the debutant. You basically just threw the kids under the bus and said, "Go and deal with this."
Of course, man.
I think they were trying to make him get a bit of experience.
Experience.
No,
I haven't actually seen the press conference.
They're trying to get him a bit of airtime, innit? Like if they have interviews and that, they're good. They don't have.
If they want airtime, if they want airtime, they can come on this show.
The Brains is saying on this tour, Sean balls 83, runs 10, Abbas balls 177, runs 9.
117.
Oh, sorry, 117, and I ain't got my glasses on today. I must take them off. Wow, massive difference, though.
What about that question by Omar though? Omar, that looks quite good. Would you carry on with Naseem or do a straight swap with Hassan Ali, which will also strengthen your batting? What would you do?
Swap.
Straight?
I'll be tempted as long as he's fit and firing. Hassan is a no-brainer. I'm just a bit concerned that are they rushing him back too quickly?
Yeah.
Because he's had his back injuries and he's straight away started playing 4-day cricket. That worries me a little bit.
See, I was gonna say let him play Pakistan Cup first, and then consider him. But the bowlers now ain't pulling up much trees, are they?
Yeah, I would have said exactly the same. Haris says Salam boys, Walaikum Salam. Hamad's got Stani Army and Green Hearts.
That's all the love for Cal.
Billy Jones trying
Yeah.
to get sympathy as they know the New Zealand media will go easy on the kids.
Wow.
It's not the right way though, is it? It's just not the right way of doing it.
It's disgusting what they did to them. I'm going to have to drive on their own.
See, okay,
Has
if they
anyone
want-
actually seen the press conference?
No,
Because I could not make myself see it.
Yeah,
I
couldn't do it.
said I'll just get really angry. I'll get wound up watching it. I'm not even sure they can speak English.
See, if they wanted to do what Cal, I know Cal is probably joking about the experience, but okay, send Zafar, but then Rizwan goes with him, or Misbah goes with him. Not send two kids, send one.
On their own.
It's a
No,
joke.
but
Have you
obviously
seen
they
the
never sent
picture?
them.
Have you
They
seen the?
obviously, they
You know
obviously
when
never
the,
They
sent them
look
for that.
lost.
yeah,
That
Nassim
picture,
look
they look
lost.
lost. They're like, what we doing here? I'm not even sure that they can speak English. I'm pretty sure Nassim's English is poor.
Yes. So on that, Zafar can speak English, but Nassim can't.
That's why they must have sent them to them.
Yeah. So just before it drops off, it looks like
as a translator.
so it's dropped off now, but I'm just trying to remember it. So Omar, it looks like Faisal saying that before the 2013 Champions Trophy game, he actually saw Mickey after training.
I was with him.
Yeah, right. And he said in the comments here that he said to Mickey, please make sure that you beat India tomorrow. And obviously, you know what happened. Yeah. So I think that you and Faisal put too much pressure on the guy, man. It's no fault.
We told Safraz, and Safraz said read the Root Sharif. I was like, okay.
You know what? It's not such a bad thing losing to him there. If it gave us a kick up the backside of what happened after that, you know.
You know, Amy. Yeah, that after that game, loads of people sold their tickets, and we were there in Edgbaston for the South Africa game.
Yeah, we was. You know what? That's the only game where it's just you and me who travelled up from London. No one else travelled up.
Yeah.
Not even
People
now.
giving
He
up.
sold out.
I remember that. I'm sure there was some game, yeah, when everybody thought that's where we're down and out, yeah, and then everybody sold their tickets. I can't remember what game was.
You know what?
Well, how much did you make, Carl?
How do you think he bought his final ticket?
I was the one who bought them all off a minute.
Whatever. I don't know you there.
You know what? Just think about that game, yeah. So me and Hope are going up, yeah. I was driving, yeah, and I had this hat.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
So I've got this hat, yeah, and it was in my boot, and it had little bells on it, yeah.
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah, that thing.
A Joker one.
Yeah, Joker one. Like, Cal, you need to
listen
listen to this, yeah. So basically, we're traveling up, right? And as I'm driving on the motorway, I hear a sound going tick, tick, tick. I go to cupboard, bruv. Something's up with my car. He goes, yeah, I gotta go. You know what? We're gonna break down. He goes, yeah. He goes. I go. Allah Nasra, man. Let's keep going, yeah. Let's see what happens. We get to Birmingham, great. If we don't, we break up. We break down. We break down the whole way, yeah. I kept saying it. I was reading Dur Sharif. I was reading Kalma. I was thinking, you know what? We're gonna break down. We're gonna break down. When we got to Birmingham, park up here. I pick up my bag. As I pick up my bag, yeah, the bill went. I went, come meet me to this hat all along. And I was thinking my car's gonna break down.
We were having a heart attack. How are we going to get back to London?
We were fasting as well at the time, yeah, because Rosé in it at the time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, talking about Rosie, man, that Champions Trophy final. Oh,
Right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be 2
that was
seconds.
a next level one.
Yeah, I was on the roof, yeah, in that 35 degrees on the roof, right? Wearing all that paint makeup, the hat, the wig, and the gloves and everything. Yeah, I was roasting.
All I remember, Kamar, yeah, is Gasme. The sun was directly in front of us, basically, yeah. And there was, I think, maybe only there was me and obviously my brother-in-law, yeah. And we both got a rosa now, yeah. Everybody around us is stuffing. Yeah. drink ponier bottle, everything. Yeah, we had a flag.
Yeah.
We had flags obviously around us. Yeah, what we was doing every 10 minutes was going down, like soaking it with water and bringing it up on our head. Yeah, next minute, 5 minutes later, it's dry. That's what we was doing. Yeah, within 5 minutes, it was bone dry. When we got out of that game, yeah, we look, I come home with the sunburn. All my arms, half my face was all sunburn. But
You know what I did?
alhamdulillah, it was the next level. I can't explain to you. Yeah, that was difficult, but that feeling and that buzz was just. I don't think I'll experience it ever again.
You will when
Like,
you
just
win the
someone
World
next
Cup
level.
in India.
Inshallah, pal. When we go West Indies, we win it there.
I can't hear you, Kamar.
When we go
Can
West
you hear me?
Indies,
Yeah.
I can't.
Guys, look what I can do now.
Allah.
I just took a chance here. Tabre said to me, you know what? Just take a chance of refreshing it and see what happens. So I just refreshed my screen. But I didn't want to do it at first because I thought the live stream might stop, but it hasn't. So yeah, we can actually see the comments now. Guys, stop everything. This could be the best culture of Pakistan at the moment. Misbah is not going to stay for long, and you shouldn't. We will discuss this in a bit. Yeah, go on, guys. Carry on.
I can only hear Amy. I can't hear Kamar.
Can you not hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
Can you guys hear me? Omar, Imi?
I can hear you.
Yeah,
I can't
we can hear you.
Oh, let me go out and come back in.
Go out and come back in.
I can't hear you. I can't hear Omar or Kamar. I can only hear Amy.
All right, go out and come back in.
That was happening to me last few days. That happens to me as well. I go off and then come back on.
Yeah, I mean, hardest fast I've ever done, but all worth it. See those, you know what? That's the final, and it's probably the only time in my life, where I was fasting and I had to break a fast. It was hot. It was absolutely scorching heat, and we had a seat guy sitting next to us. Well, about 10 seats away. And as I walked past him, he was drunk. And as I walked past him, he went to me, and he used the P word, and he threw his alcohol on me, and literally, like, it actually went in my mouth. I had the taste in my mouth, alcohol. I had a rosa, and literally, I went, drank, done chilo tea, but I could not take the taste out of my mouth. In the end, I said, you know what, rosa's probably broken it. I got alcohol in my mouth. So I drank water. That's the only time I've ever broken my rosa. That guy. Oh.
Adil Hussain asked a really good question. He goes, Salam lads, the World Cup 2019, what was the best atmosphere? Because he was there at the New Zealand game, thought that was electric, that game. I've just been thinking, because I went to every single one of the Pakistan games. I'm just trying to think, was there anything better than that New Zealand game?
See, overall, I enjoyed Afghanistan more than New Zealand.
I think that Afghanistan, because of the pressure.
Yeah.
That's the only game I've ever been to where I've never felt like my heart's gonna burst. Seriously.
All I remember from that game is I was sitting there. There's about 6 overs to go, and I'm sure it was Imi that said it. He goes, "It must be bad even Umar's quiet."
I think that was the game where at the end when we won, I turned around to a covered by and I just said to him, I love this team and I hate this team. It's just pure emotion that just came out of me, man.
Nav turned around to me, and this was just when Shadab was still batting, and he goes to me, Imi, if we win, here's £50 for the masjid.
Oh, I remember that.
This guy just gave me £50 for the masjid. And then Nav became Muslim for a second. Islam lads, World Cup 2019. What was the best? Oh yeah, I just saying. Do you think New Zealand or Headingley?
I think it was New Zealand. I think that because it was a 95% plus Pakistan crowd, and I still remember the point where we were initially sat opposite Eric Holly's, and at one point, me and Cass, so for those of you who don't know, Cass Paxican, the guy who plays the drum, the tall. We walked around to Eric Holly's stand, and I'm telling you, we had the best time ever there. Just walking around, all the fans there, Cass with the tall, doing the Mexican waves and all the singing all the songs with them and everyone, from stand to stand to stand to stand. It was brilliant, that was.
You know what? You know what wouldn't be a bad shout? The South Africa game. Well, at least the
Oh.
Lords people would say, yeah, that's the best atmosphere they've ever had. Because they have no atmosphere normally.
Oh,
And they,
man, no.
all of a
That's
sudden,
where
they're
it
wearing
all
the balls
started.
breaking.
That's where the
Oh,
that's
it
We
really
was
just went 4 on the
incredible.
trot.
Look who we got. Look who we got here. Mm,
We have Mr.
We had.
Is comment still there?
It should be. I just.
Is it
I'm
not
going to come
changing?
back to other people, but
There
we've
we go.
got Atif Nawaz here.
Mr.
Assalamu alaikum,
Atif
bro. How you
Nawaz.
doing?
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu
Only 50, brother. If they win this game, should be 500 at least.
alaikum.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Looking forward to having Atif with us one day as well on the show, whether it's this one or on the verdict. Edgebus was definitely the best atmosphere.
No, but I think
Be interested to see if Atif could say his best atmosphere because he was on the ground.
Yeah.
He could probably hear it coming out of each side. So just to have perspective of what he thought was actually the best atmosphere.
I think South Africa game was good as well. You know, the one in London.
Well, yeah, but I don't think it was as good as the Birmingham one though.
Yeah, Birmingham was the next level.
Yeah.
Even the Afghanistan one in Leeds, man. Oof.
Yeah, tu kya karna hai? It wasn't because of you. Hey, look at this guy getting all pushed.
I'm not going to talk about the
we didn't even see him in Birmingham one.
Eh?
That was one we didn't even see.
I didn't even see him.
No,
we didn't see him in the Birmingham one.
I was sitting on the other side.
Yeah, you weren't even there.
They were sore losers, bro. Proper. If I remember right, Yamin, if you're still watching, I'm pretty sure I met you that day at the end of the game, and I was drinking pani, and I apologized to you, because you had a rosa. I just drank pani in front of you, but this thing happened probably about 20 minutes before, and I just about got the pani at that time because I couldn't take the taste out of my mouth. I'm pretty sure it was you I met at the time. Billy Jones wasn't the Afghanistan game a bit chaotic? It was, but we had these. Come on, what do you call them seats?
We had the hospitally mentality seats. The hospitally mentality.
Oh, this way.
If you know my man here, yeah, he sorts out the best 5-star and everything.
He gave us some upper tier leather seats. We were comfortable. It was scorching that day as well.
Yeah.
And literally, we were in the shade. We had the leather seats.
Yeah, we got lucky, although we would have got a sunburn. You know that.
Yeah, you know one of the best things about those seats. Yeah, so that was the first game I brought Yusuf to my son, right? And I was worried at some point during the day, yeah, he's gonna need to go to the toilet. And I thought, if I go up, yeah, with all the other junglies, yeah, I'm gonna be there for ages, and I don't know, whether he'll be able to hold it or not. When we were up in the hospitally mentality seats, yeah, and he goes, I need to go toilet, yeah, took him there, all nice, pristine, clean, and everything, yeah, no queue, no nothing. Whereas the other one, yeah, they're all dirty, gande toilets and stuff, man.
Even the toilets were prestige.
Yeah, man, it was all really perfect.
So the emotions take over. We win the game at the end, yeah. Emotions have taken over. We're all jumping up and down. We've all gone mad, right? We're all singing Dil Dil Pakistan. There's a lady with a pram there, yeah. For some reason, she picks up a child, must be about a year old, maybe younger. And she just gave him to me, yeah. I've got this kid in my hand, yeah. I don't know whose kid it is, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, like yeah, bro. And it's like 2-3 minutes later, I'm thinking, whose kid is this? I look around, I see a lady with a pram. I'm like, it's got to be hers.
Good job that wasn't on camera and your wife saw it.
Deb says, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. Come on, lads. Babar Azam 100 was fire. Or clap. Wa alaikum salam. Let's just keep going down.
Sorry, Amy, just one thing. I think one of the comments has gone down that Debbie mentioned. Yeah, she said, Umar, do you want me to get you a Pakistan top? Yeah.
I've missed it.
Mumtaz says that was crazy. I was at Eric Colley's and still remember how the crowd erupted when Ahmed got gubbed to his wicket. Incredible game. Incredible game. Mind you, this game we're 42 for 2 after 26. So these two are actually battling out. And again, Arbit's doing something. He's still there. 26 overs in. Yeah, at least he's showing some fight. Hardy, do you guys think that the team for media duties is some sort of punishment? I hope not. I seriously hope not.
I'd be surprised if that's the case. I don't think that, you know.
I think it was just a cop out.
Yeah.
Raheel, I was at Bangladesh game at Lords, and even though it was a bit of a dead game in terms of the points, it's a good atmosphere. But I agree, New Zealand game has to be the number one.
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh.
We were cheering for the opposite. So the best opposition fans that I saw all tournament, the best opposition fans were the Bangladesh fans. They were as crazy as us.
Agreed.
All throughout the full 8 hours, they kept going on and on with those. Even when their teams was looking like it was going to lose, they still carried on. Bangladesh. The one that was disappointed not to see was the Sri Lankan fans, because we went to the Champions Trophy Sri Lanka group game, and I remember they were really good there. I was looking forward to seeing that, but that was obviously rained out, even though we spent half the day there waiting for the rain to clear. But Bangladesh fans, were brilliant.
Avas telling us about his Champions Trophy final. In the World Cup game, New Zealand game, ace was Barbarou's 100 noise. The game versus South Africa, Bangla at Lords was fantastic. Yeah, never seen Lords so loud. No, definitely not.
You know what? One of the stewards at the South African game on our stand, he goes to this all the guy, and he goes, I've never seen Lords like this before.
There's that build.
Beautiful cover drive from
Oh, do you remember that time, when we were still celebrating, and South Africa was batting. We're celebrating, and next minute hits a 4 or a 6, and we're celebrating from the. I think we were just.
The ball before.
The ball before or something. Yeah, we were just obviously cheering him up on that. And next minute he's at 4 or 6. We've not realised he's at 4 or 6. And they got us on TV on Sky. I don't know if you remember it or not.
Oh, I don't remember that.
No, they have. Trust me. I still remember it.
But that was the game when Lords tweeted, when me and Paxican went to the stand next to us, and we actually started a Mexican wave around there. So they put that up on their Twitter account, and they go, "Is this possibly one of the first Mexican wave at Lords?" So we started that. Yeah, we were rocking that. We were rocking that game. So wassalam, lads. Atif saying, keep the commentary going. Enjoy listening to you. We'll happily join you all one day. Edge Baston had the best catering for the commentators on the ground, Afghanistan, Pakistan. Yeah, the Afghanistan-Pakistan game. So when we were coming in, Umar got banned, and then he had to, he got banned going in, right? So, we have hooligans in Stani Army as well that we've got to keep the temper down,
Just check my Twitter. You'll know what's going on.
But then when we got in, because of the whole Pakistan-Afghanistan thing, I think there were some sets of fans that just went a bit crazy as well, right? But so I think the thing is that because we were in our hospitality mentality seats, and we were sat up above, we were just looking. We were away from that, and we were
everything.
Because I was happy because my son was with us. But then you could just look around and see everything. But that noise and atmosphere. For 30 years of going to games, I've never felt that pressure before, because I was feeling like if we're not gonna make it to the semis, fair enough. But to go out, no disrespect, to anyone listening from Afghanistan, but to go out to Afghanistan, and I just thought that's gonna be just so bad, And then when that final bit, I think when Imad hit that boundary or something, it's just
it was just unbelievable. It was
like a release of pressure, man.
That last over, oh my god, it was so.
But just Atif, if you're listening, I know that obviously at all the games that you're doing commentary and working for the broadcast and stuff, but you have to do one game sat with us in the crowd, in the seats, in the jungly seats as we call them, wherever it is, you got to sit with us. We'll show you atmosphere, bro. To anyone that's listening, if you see us, come sit with us.
And you know what? Seats to move around seats, yeah, it's so easy. I think
But,
we
you know,
sat in our own original seats about 2 games in the whole World Cup. We just moved around, yeah, and just jumped on any seats.
Nobody sits.
What are the
Who
plans for the
sits in
watch-along
Pakistan
going
games?
forward? Will it be-
Everyone's standing.
another thing,
Yeah.
if I just put in there, you know, if you follow the Stani Army page on Twitter, in the future, obviously Stani Army can we can get tickets for the game itself. So instead of you like getting tickets separately anywhere else, you can get tickets directly through Stani Army, and then you'll be sat next to us.
Said says, what are the plans for the watch-along going forward? Will you just be yourselves or adding viewers as guests? We're looking at viewers for guests as well going forward. So we will have more people on there. It's just about knowing who the people are and everything, because the last thing we want is someone to come on and say something, which is not right. A bit more like, if anyone's seen Mohammed Asif today, and that sort of thing. I mean, someone professional like that you've got on, and someone says something as silly as not as silly, as racist as that. It's wrong, and that's the only issue at the moment. But inshallah, going forward, we will have more people on. Against Atif again. The atmosphere in Leeds was incredible. That and Old Trafford, I've tried to erase that one out of my memory. That one didn't even happen. I actually won the tickets, Atif, if you're still listening now. I actually won them from Nissan for a tweet that I made. I made a tweet, that I took my son to Cardiff for the T20 against England before the World Cup. And as I took my son there, I sent a tweet saying that I've taken my son to his first game where my dad used to take me to a game, and Nissan saw the tweet and offered me tickets. And they gave me 5 tickets for the Pakistan-India game. So I've taken my whole family there. You know what? Never felt so demoralized on the drive back home. I mean, you take your 5 kids, everyone to a game, and then like, not my 5 kids. My wife's like,
I was thinking, I thought you only had 3.
wife and my kids.
I hope your wife ain't watching. I was thinking you had got 5 kids.
My wife didn't walk to the room and went, with 5 kids. Do you want me to listen to before stream when we were just discussing that child? I mean, yeah, it was we got a nice little selfie celebrate. Yeah, so it was Yamin who I actually met straight after the game, and that's when I was having Barney, unfortunately. I need these 5-star hookups with you lads. Have to sit on the grass.
Calm down, Rafi.
Our hearts bleed.
Worst result for me was the opening game to West Indies. You know what? It hurts.
That was a lethal game. That.
Yeah, but look, at least we all got home for iftari.
Yeah.
No matter where you were from in the country.
I was home about 5 hours before
Bro,
iftari from
forget
London to
iftari.
London.
Yeah, I think I was halfway down the motorway and halfway through the match.
I think I was home at about 4:30, 5 o'clock. That's incredible. Nottingham to London to watch the game back quite early as well. That first match was
the next game. The next game they did us proud in it.
Yeah, England. We were at that. That was one of the best seats we had. They were really good.
In that game, I think I was in. Yeah.
Everyone's gonna read it and laugh.
Yeah, I think that's why. Yeah, that's why I needed the hospitality mentality seats.
No, Baba.
Do you want to get the Blazers comment up?
Yeah, I will do. If I can't see it at the moment, but yeah. Saad, maybe that trip to Bristol and Ramiz go on camera. Oh, that was another one. We travelled up to Bristol. It got dry.
Well,
the
for the
rain
Sri Lanka game.
Sri Lanka game.
Yeah,
I didn't even go. I
sun
knew it was
come
gonna
out.
rain.
We were hopeful again,
bro, yeah.
and it got
I didn't even
cancelled.
go. I knew it's gonna be a rain off.
They sold your tickets, yeah?
It was. It was
No,
it was
I
dry.
didn't have my ticket. I got
The
refund.
sun was out. It was incredible. It got called off at that stage.
Dry.
You know the worst, the big risk I took, yeah, was on the Taunton game. Yeah, they said it was all forecasted to rain, against Australia. They were saying, yeah, 100% it's going to rain. Anything, and we
The
I
Taunton
thought,
one,
nah,
yeah.
it's not going to. Yeah, I thought, nah, it's not going to rain. And you know what? If it rained, I would have been good to the 5.5 hours drive. 5.5 hour drive, yeah. And I
Shazib,
took the risk. And alhamdulillah, we had the
Hope
game,
is
but
on the highlights. Celebrate
Oh
with the baby.
yeah,
And that's his son.
that was my son. Yeah, his debut.
Shazzy's
was right at the
son,
end, wasn't it?
lads. Welcome, salam. There's a lot of comments. I'm just going to skip a few right now because we're well behind. Rohit, me and Shazzy would love to sit with you guys for a game. Custom, I think it would be mad. Inshallah, soon. We had tickets for next summer, but they've all gone now. There are quite a few. So going forward, or if Rahil, I've got you on Twitter anyhow. So if anyone does back out, some of these guys are part timers. So if someone does think, then we'll. Oh,
Okay.
we've got a couple of guests, and I'll introduce them in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, Nav, and welcome, Dr. Akbar.
Evening, Assalamu alaikum, lads. How are we doing?
Welcome.
Hi guys, how are you?
Yeah, all good. Watching the game, discussing the Cricket World Cup at the moment.
Nav sounds
Hester
ecstatic.
Braze is one. Hester Braze is one that. Umar, before you go, that's fine. That's fine, Cal. Before you go, Umar, what's the similarity between Boris Johnson and Al Imi? And you even know how many kids they have?
no wonder Umar saying, read your brain is coming.
Oh, bro. Is this where we went to?
Actually, what the similarity is, they're both from London.
Oh, bro. Oh, man. I don't know that one. I didn't even read it yet. I don't want to.
I read it about 5 minutes ago.
I saw it as well a few minutes ago.
Yeah, we haven't scored a single run. It's still 46 for 2. 28
I'm gonna go now. Yeah, but there was just one comment that I can't remember the name of the guy that put it there. He said he went to every game in '99, and the Australia group game was brilliant, and the pitch invasions. Yeah, front row, one of the ones that led the pitch invasions. super proud of it.
Incredible. Unbelievable.
Yeah. We're gonna go now. So,
guys,
ahead, everyone for joining.
Check it out.
Huh?
Everyone's gone.
Check the comment out before you go.
What? Safraz Army's back.
Nav.
Really good to talk about Safraz.
Akbar,
Yeah.
did he enjoy?
In the
Yeah, I
end,
was going to say, I wonder who that could be.
right. You guys don't remember a bloke called Mike Braley, who played for England and never made a test century. One of the few players to score over 1,000 test runs without getting a century. But they picked him for his captaincy. And our captaincy has been severely lacking today, the last couple of days.
Oh, it's going to be a long night with Nav, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
you
We'll leave it. So, I'll leave you guys to
Enjoy,
it. Yeah.
Doc.
Okay.
Enjoy
you asked my opinion. I didn't think we had great leadership at any stage the last 2 test matches. We need a sergeant major type
I'll
attitude
be
on the
back.
field.
You're going to be on at 12, yeah?
Unless I turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah, some of us, I think we'll stick around. We'll stick around, I think, probably.
It depends how we're batting.
I'll be back at 12 then.
The 2 things I've watched the last half hour is Abbas doesn't know how to review anything. Why did he review that?
It was a bit of a silly one, wasn't it? I mean, certainly on the Snicko, it looked like a clear edge. I didn't have the volume so high up, so I couldn't hear exactly whether there was a nick on the way through. But New Zealand were convinced. The umpire gave it out pretty sharpish. You can judge a lot from a team, but we're not going to get too down on everything this evening. But obviously, you can judge a lot on a team by its fielding, kind of out cricket, attitude, intent, reviews, that kind of stuff. And we've been so lacking in this game.
I bet you see, that goes back to my point that Safraz, okay, he might have been the best wicketkeeper, but you could hear him. He was vocal on the field, keeping them on their toes. I've not heard a lot of noise from this team. Would that be a fair observation?
Well, you guys were talking about it. Imi, I think you were mentioning it as well earlier, weren't you? That they seem to kind of almost find it funny when they when there's a catch dropped and things like that. So I don't know. Rizwan is captain. No one's shown more intent in this game than Rizwan when he was batting. And I saw a comment from Billy earlier about players kind of just kind of hanging back in the crease and not really showing intent. That's the one thing Rizwan did on day one. He came out and he attacked the bowling. But we don't have 11 Rizwans. We have a few meek players in this team.
But you see, if I stop you there, they.
Oh my God! What a catch! Abid's gone. That's a brilliant catch.
You know who Jameson reminds me of? He reminds me of a blonde version of that Jaws off the James Bond films.
Yeah, Nav, we've just lost a wicket. We're 46 for 3.
I know. I'm aware of this. It's that Jameson.
Nav just tried his hardest.
Catch at point, one-handed, diving to his right. Oh, goodness me. Considering how many we've dropped in this game, that is fantastic.
I still haven't seen it because I'm probably like a minute behind you. He's coming right now. I'll show you like a reaction right now.
It's Will Young, so he must be the substitute. I don't know who he's on for.
For Nichols.
Right. I was just about to say, I'd be very interested to see if Abid gets more than his usual 20-25 today, because that's what he's been good for so far. And here we go. I know it's a great catch, but 26 off 77. This is the problem with Abid, isn't it? He will get you 20-30 runs, but he won't go and get a big score most of the time.
I mean, that was unlucky. You got to say.
Yeah.
But what was going on about you know, as a captain, they say you have to be responsible for your own game and the game, the performance of your team. And as a wicketkeeper, a good wicketkeeper can make a bad fielding team look a bit better. So there's three parts to it. So sorry. And my thought was, Rizwan as a wicketkeeper has been fine except for the dropped catch. Rizwan as the batsman, as the captain, has been fine. But Rizwan as the focal point for our fielding, cajoling them, encouraging them. Remember when you had Moin Khan, you had Shabash Stucky. You know what he was saying? You had that with Rashid Latif. You've had that with Kamran Akmal. I just found Rizwan, his body language, he's vocalising. He was a little bit quiet. I mean, people can say Naveed's a Safraz fan. Did you not think that Safraz was very meek and mild in the field?
Imi, you want to take that one? No, I'll take it. No,
I was just.
No, you're okay.
Counting your children.
That's fine. I mean, we all switch off sometimes when Nav's talking, but no, I'm kidding.
No, I was just doing something just now.
No, Safraz. Look, Safraz was. I think Safraz was a good captain for that team. I just don't think he's performing well enough with the bat. I think. I mean, I wouldn't have him as a keeper, Rizwan as a pure batsman.
Can I challenge you at that point? Right. So Safraz's performances, being Pakistani, would judge that World Cup. He got one of the games that we lost 5-0. He got a 98 or a 99 against England. So a really good innings because I was there evidently. Then he got a 50 against England. He got a decent score against Australia, and he didn't really have to bat after that. So was he not performing with the bat? I challenged that, to be honest. It was a misconception that he wasn't challenged. He was putting 30s and 40s and 50s on the board. Okay, he hadn't got 100, but nor is Rizwan at the moment. I don't think there was enough thing. Let's sack him out of the team, remove him as captain. There wasn't enough evidence for that at that time. And I think it was just it was like oh well, we've not got to the semi-final. We've got a God-given right. Let's sack him. That's going to make a big difference. I think that was really unfair.
Okay. Well, look, we'll have to agree to disagree on that one. Now,
we can go. You know, you can go. You can. Everyone's have an opinion. More interestingly, young Harris is in now. Played for his Test career.
Well, there's a comment come through from
Army. Sorry.
A comment come through about it being make or break for Harris. I mean, you have to say, so if Haris Sahel gets 105, well, forget that. If Haris Sahel makes 75 in this innings, I'd be interested to know what the comments think. If Haris makes 75 today, do you drop him or do you keep him for South Africa? I personally would probably still drop him. I mean, I don't think he's going to make 75. I hope he does.
Robert's got to come back, hasn't he?
Well, exactly. So someone's going to go, and it probably is Haris at the moment. But I'm saying if he makes a score in this game, do you think that's going to fall or what have you?
Yeah, we've said this. We had this discussion the day before yesterday. The Pakistanis have this kind of short. It's what's that I call the Oval mentality. You go to the last test at the Oval, do well, and you get selected to go on a winter tour. It's happened with England. Joey Benjamin, Martin Bicknell, lots of players have done one of the last test match, left field selections, and have been selected. And what's going to happen is Harris will probably make a score and get selected again. And Zafar Gahur won't make a score, hasn't taken a wicket, and that will be his Test career. And that is, unfortunately, Pakistan cricket. We're littered with one-test wonders. People who make an appearance and never get seen again. No one will remember them.
But Nav, that's one thing. But what Doc was just saying just now about Haris, Babar's got to come back in. So Babar comes back in. He's got to come in for two people here because he's going to come back in the middle order. So there's only two people that can go. So it's either going to be Haris Sahel or they change the formula again and take Fahim Ashraf out. Fahim's probably done enough here to keep his place at the moment.
You see, we haven't discussed the bowling, the fielding. Our bowling, you can say we've dropped so many catches. But generally speaking, I haven't seen Pakistan concede 500s and 600s on a regular basis. I can think back to the Multan Test match of 2001, but generally speaking, we don't concede massive scores on a regular basis. But over the last few years, 2016, we won the first Test match in England, and the second Test match, or the third Test match, they made big scores.
It was Old Trafford. It was Root made his 260 against us at Old Trafford.
Yeah, so occasionally someone's going to make a 200 because you've got to make 200s. But then we've had a couple against last winter against South Africa, Australia.
Yeah.
There were big scores. Now we've had big scores again. Again, with New Zealand, this is their formula. This is what they did to India last year. This is what they did to the West Indies. This is what they did to England. But this is a more systematic problem that we are taking 2 or 3. We don't look like a team that's going to take 10 wickets. And Nasheem Shah, as fast as he is, and very flashy YouTube videos that got him selected. There isn't a lot of material behind to back him. And Pakistan will say, well, Wasim was picked with no test thingy. Vakar was picked like that. Tosif Ahmed was picked like that. But the times have changed.
Nav, we mentioned this yesterday as well, and it's the exception rather than the rule. So we've got to make sure that we don't just keep following these kind of 1 in a million type things. And like I said, so we mentioned that, and it's true. Not everyone.
Sorry, I wasn't here yesterday, but over time, I've said, I don't follow Pakistani domestic cricket, but from time to time, you go to one of these YouTube pages, and it'll flash up this bowler looking unbeatable, and there'll be a clip of Muhammad Adil Farna as a prime example, and there were clips of him, and he looked unplayable because people had taken all the wickets he'd taken and cut him into a montage, and when you actually got what you got, it wasn't quite the same. We have an expectation as Pakistanis that we're always going to have fast bowlers, and fast bowlers are all well per se, but there's got to be guile with them, game awareness. It's and Naseem and Musa have been lacking, and I think poor old Naseem's been persevered with for a few Test matches too long.
Imi, would you give him a break against South Africa then?
No.
You play him?
Who's that? Haris, yeah?
No, Nassim Shah.
And Nassim Shah, no, sorry, yeah, I think if he's fit, I'll have Hassan back. If he's feeling good, I'll have Hassan back. So that's that. Adil says Sean Masood out, but then that doesn't cure. That's an opener. We're not gonna have a.
Would
That
you
doesn't
put
save height, does it?
as an average is? I'm not saying you should do it. So I'm not trying to sit on the fence here. As an average is about 45 as an opener. It's where he got his triple hundred against West Indies. It's where he's got his double hundred against Australia. So as it can open, it might not be a long-term solution. And cynics would say, well, if you're going to have a new opener, why not just get Imran Bhatin, who is an opener and could open in home conditions? But as a could open,
he averages 2 more as an opener than his overall thing. So I think it's 43 to 41.
Yeah. So
I mean, we're playing South Africa, who aren't the South Africa of 5 or 6 years ago, with Del Steen and things. Knowing our luck, once it's confirmed that Dell's not coming, Hafiz will probably come out of retirement.
I think we're really underestimating South Africa. By the way, when we played them 2 years ago, they weren't the South Africa of 4 years before that, and they still beat us 3-0.
Yeah,
and they won the one-day series.
I accept that if on paper they are a good team, but they're not the team of Hashim Amla and AB de Villiers.
No, but they might not have to be. That's the problem. They might not have to be that team to beat us. That's the thing. I mean,
yeah, I think what I'm trying to say is we can play.
More.
I think we can play South Africa, beat them, and suddenly we end up believing that we're a good team. I think we played Zimbabwe and we played Bangladesh, and suddenly people thinking the team's a good bowler. We're out of context Pakistanis that we thought winning a couple of test matches at home against weaker teams somehow made us a good team. And our decline in test cricket has been coming for a while. This isn't, if we sit here today watching this test match going, well, this is wrong and that's wrong. This isn't something, this malaise hasn't happened in a week or over a tour. This has been happening over a period of time. Okay, Bubba would have papered over some cracks. He might have got 100, he might not have. He probably would have done. And we might not have been beaten. But overall, against England, against Australia, against New Zealand, we've not been also runs. We've not been at the races. It's not like we've lost and it's been close at any stage. We have really, really been taken to task, haven't we?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. I mean, you can't argue a lot with that. The first test we were behind. I mean, the first test is like a football team that goes 4-0 down and gets a couple of goals late on, and you think, oh, hold on, maybe no, they have been bad, kind of thing. So that's how I would read the first test. And the second test, again, sorry, I keep reverting to football, but again, you go 2-0 down, you get one back. Oh, maybe 2-1. No, ends 3-1 or 4-1 like this game. So there have been moments, but then. I would say if you put Bangladesh in this situation when they came to New Zealand a few years ago, they actually did pretty well. They got 400-500 in one of the test matches, almost won it. So every team is going to have its moments. The difference is the good team. The good team break through. They hold on to their catches, and that's what we've struggled.
But
you
say, we can have a bad test match. We can have a bad test series, but this isn't our only bad series.
No.
Everywhere we've been for a while, we've been bad. I mean, the last two, the tour of Australia prior to this was a bad tour, wasn't it? With us and Shafiq scored the runs. The tour before that was a 2010 tour. I mean, we've been nowhere. We've been nowhere in Australia for a long time. We've not done well in South Africa. We've had decent results in England, and this is the second tour in New Zealand that we haven't done well. New Zealand used to be a good hunting ground for Pakistan. We'd come with Wakara Muniz, knock them out for 110. They're not. They've gone from being that sort of West Indies, Sri Lanka type team to being one of the top teams. Good luck to them. But our Malaysian cricket, if people are pretending that changing one player or two players is going to make a massive difference, we've got a massive rebuilding task ahead of us. We've got to put together some kind of bowling attack. Abbas has done really well for us, but he's at that sort of age where he's not the future. He's the kind of present. You might get a year out of him, you might get 18 months out of him, but he's not running through teams. So you wonder how, you've got If he got injured tomorrow, was out for 2 or 3 test matches, we'd be struggling around to find a fast bowling attack, wouldn't we?
Yeah, big time. No, of course we would. We don't have that. I mentioned it yesterday. There's always this mention of Pakistan having a battery of fast bowlers. We don't. We've lost a whole generation of them. We've got 2 players that are too young or players that are too old. We've made all these points before. And it is going to be a big rebuilding job. Wasim Khan has said himself, our whole cricket needs a rebuild. It will involve changing the domestic structure. It will involve having more teams tour Pakistan. I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't have comfortable home series. The rest of the world has for the past 10, 15 years. We've been missing out on kind of these gimme series at home where the conditions are suited in our favour. So yeah, it's going to take time. We should probably let's address maybe a couple of these comments. Go on, Imi. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. Just address some of the comments. So Fahim definitely deserves his place, but on Pakistani pitch, do we need 4 quicks? I would play Shadab as second spinner, him and Fahim rotating depending on the pitch. It's actually a very good call, I think. Maybe play the second spinner. You could play Shadab then.
Could Fahim be one of 2 seamers?
Not the 2. It could be one of 3, I think.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think you've got to assess conditions. Obviously, that Fahim position is either Fahim or Shadab, isn't it? I would say. And I would say, like Yamin is saying, essentially it depends on what the conditions are.
Look at people, the English spinner, other than Lyon, Ashwin for India, Satna for New Zealand. Their spinners are not guaranteed to play in every single test match. Pakistan always play a spinner, even if it's not going to spin, as like a default position. Fahim has shown enough that he can tie up an end, whereas we don't have to play a spinner everywhere.
Yeah. Shazeb says if Shan Masood gets dropped, who's the replacement? Does Imam deserve a run-in? I personally think it's got out of Imam and Imran Butt.
Again, Imran Butt's figures aren't great. So Imran Butt, everyone's Imran Butt. I don't think he's an opener. Imam deserves a run. His figures in cricket seem reasonable. He's just unfortunately tied with his thing. This kind of prodigy tag. I mean, forget what the form of cricket. If you've scored 5, 6, 7 one-day centuries, I don't think people can use the old prodigy or that he's only been picked of who his relatives are. I think that's unfair. And the same gets used against Shan, that he's only picked of who his father is because he speaks good English. He's done enough to be picked, and he had shown an upturn in form. But he played that one innings in England, and after that he has looked all at sea. But has he got enough to give to be worth persevering with at his age? And given our future test, we're better off playing a younger player.
Mm-hmm. It's just that Imran Butt's got what? He averaged 65 last season. So that was the thing. So
I would go with Imran Butt, to be honest. But I have nothing against him.
He's there now. He's in the squad. So it'd be unfair on him to be jumped over now. But yes, so in my opinion, we are losing because we don't have bowlers that can take 20 wickets. In fact, we couldn't against Australia and couldn't. Yeah, obviously, we're in that situation. But then, saying that, what were they, 5 down at the end yesterday when they declared?
7 eventually, I think.
7. Well, then that makes it about 13 if we took our catches. So.
But you see, the catches can distract the thing that we haven't taken a lot of wickets for a long time. If we'd taken 20 wickets, that would have been a sort of 5th or a 6th of the total test wickets our team had taken ever. A very, very inexperienced attack. Again, I've gone back to vocal. The leader of your attack, effectively, your most experienced bowler, was Abbas. And Abbas, a lovely bowler, keeps it tight. On the right wicket, takes lots of wickets. But he doesn't strike me as a leader, a guider, a motivator of men. Shaheen Shah Afridi, probably our fastest bowler. Again, he, in terms of bowling, at this stage in his career, in any other team, he'd probably be the 3rd seamer. You know, we put the weight of expectation on him, and he hasn't got that kind of experience to fall back on, has he?
Shazzy says Hassan needs to come back and Nassim needs to play more domestic. I sort of agree with that.
You can't disagree with that. There is a danger. There is a likelihood that Nassim will, once you've had the highs of Test cricket, plodding around playing for whoever, Central Punjab or wherever, and not getting the wickets. He may not come back. He may not. His form may not justify it. You know, it's just one of these things.
Doctor, could you take this one? I'm not sure I understand it.
Albeit Barbados quality, we have the mentality to switch off faster, making 100. I don't know. I don't quite get that from.
I think what he's trying to say is some of our players will make 100, and that's it. That they're done. A lot of our players make 101, 102, 105, 109, and don't kick on to the really big scores. They don't have the mental stamina, strength, and concentration to, when they make a run, score big. Williamson's got 2 doubles this New Zealand summer. Nichols, very lucky, made 170. I think what we're trying to say is that our players, once they make 100, think their job is done. Don't think, well, that this is only a start. I need to make big runs.
Is that because they're always fearful? Is that because they're fearful of losing their place? Because it's always historically, it's been such a chop and change culture that what that fosters is a bit of selfishness. It's like England kind of, you mentioned that series where they picked that series in the 80s, they picked I don't know how many players in a summer, and everyone starts playing for themselves, because I think as long as I get my 70, I'm staying in this team, and then I can be on cruise control for the next couple of games, which is why I do think there should be an element of consistency of selection. So people who are saying that there'll be 4 or 5 changes for South Africa, I disagree with that. You make 1 or 2 changes and you replace players who are woefully out of form. But if players know that they've got a bit of rope, then they will play with a bit more freedom. They might play with a bit more intent as opposed to playing for themselves.
I think the question was that our players make that century. You know, there's too many times in the last 5, 10, whatever years that they've made 100 and we're not getting the 150. We're not seeing the 160s. We're not seeing.
Yeah, but now if they're playing for themselves. If you're a batsman in that team and you think, right, if I get 100, I'm going to stay in the team. Once you've got that 100, you might lose that 1%, 2% of edge. I'm not accusing them of not trying. I just think it is a consequence of the way that we've selected over the years. Is that once you've got your score, you're okay. No one's going to drop you once you've made 103, are they? They're not going to drop you.
I mean, if that attitude was provided, that'd be quite sad in professional sports.
Do you know what just happened? They're just showing the first innings of Jamison's wickets, and I wasn't paying attention. I look up here, and I see an edge going straight to slip, and I thought, Harris. And then I just realised that it was from the first innings.
Harris's footwork is severely lacking.
Any potential score by Harris always save his very poor spot. I don't think it does, because it might save his spot in the squad, but one spot's going to go in the middle order.
Well, bear in mind, we might name a 15 or 16. The danger is that if Harris makes a score, then that will negate everything that has happened before. And your wicket, there's the sort of Jeff Boycott thing that, you should be prepared to sort of kind of live and die over your wicket. The Brian Close. Harris's dismissals have struck me as quite lackadaisical, strolling, and you're coming in, you're under pressure, your team's under pressure, you're batting at number 4 or 5. That's the linchpin of your batting, and you need to sell your wicket dearly. And he hasn't got out to beast of a ball or unplayable ball. He sort of hung his bat out to dry and not moved his feet. And you'd think there are times when you do things by instinct, but when you first come in, you must get my feet moving, you must move my feet. It's almost ingrained into you when you first come in to concentrate. And he's not been able to concentrate on the first couple of balls he's faced. If he gets out at 30 or 40, going back to making a technical mistake that's inherent in his game, you can say, yeah, that's just muscle memory.
Oh, now you've gone very quiet.
That's great. Doctor, does Kamran Ghulam deserve a chance? I mean, 1,200 QEA runs. or is it too early? Just
Yeah, I don't. I think it's a little bit harsh on some of the other players if he goes from where he is now to front of the queue and playing a Test match. That's what we've been a little bit guilty of in the past. Now he might be a brilliant player. I haven't seen loads of him, I have to be honest, but I think not yet. Maybe have him in and around the squad, I should add.
Everyone. Through to lunch, Brendan McCallum, Katie Martin.
Say again, Amy.
So
All these names being thrown about. Can you hear me, guys? All these names being thrown about are names that most people have never ever seen play. They've seen their names, or if they've done well. Some players could score lots of runs and not be Test class.
Yeah, but this season, we've got to be fair to the PCB. 33 games were live.
Well, I've not watched any of them, but a lot of people have been watching them this year. Yeah, but a lot of people have thrown names. I've heard names being thrown about, and sometimes they just haven't got the class. You're all right, people can see them scoring runs in Pakistan, but might not be possible.
I see what you're saying, because like if I was tuning in here after after a year in cricket, basically I would have watched the game today and said, you know what, I found the answer to our finishing ability. I mean, this guy Hassan Ali, he could be a wonderful number 7 for us. So yeah, I can understand that. You're looking at one innings and it's so easy to fall in that trap. But 1,200 domestic runs, and in Sol Shakil's case, 970 runs. That's a lot of runs here to actually just dismiss.
I mean, people have been throwing the name of Abdullah. I've not seen Abdullah about. Then they're throwing Haider Ali about, and then you've got Hassan Talat, and then suddenly we've either got 6 or 7 really brilliant batsmen, or we haven't got any at all. So there might be only one of them's any good. You don't know until you put them in, but you just can't put them in and then take them out again. There's got to be a space for them, and then once they're in, you've got to be prepared to give them a chance.
That's the thing. I mean, my personal choice that the next in line should be Sol Shakil.
But you see, the other thing is,
we don't get 2 games. Give him a run eventually when he gets a go.
What sort of shot was that? So when we play, the lesser teams, sometimes there might be a case for resting the Azhar Alis of this world. Resting a few players and playing a team of almost newbies to see how they do with one experienced batsman. But we never seem to do that. We will play even in one-day cricket, we'll play the Maliks and the Fizes. You're thinking, well, this is a time to experiment with 3, 4, 5 new faces, and we sometimes don't do that because the journalist, the media noise in Pakistan is we must win at all costs, and we have that kind of win now. Don't worry about what's going on in the future.
Right, Doctor. On the topic of Shaheen, he really does need to rest, in my opinion. His workload in the last 2 years have been crazy. Are we playing him too much here?
No, and this is where cricket's changed over the past 10, 15 years. If you listen to pundits like, Ian Botham, Azim Akram, they will say, well, what's wrong with him? He's 21. Why can't he play every single game? When I was 21, you don't get match fit by going to the gym or by resting or whatever. Cricket has changed. The game has changed. There are more days of cricket, more intense days of cricket. There's more travel, etc., etc., etc. So, I don't think we've managed Shaheen particularly well. He's probably in some kind of red zone if we measure these things of kind of being close to getting an injury. I hope it doesn't happen. Obviously, I hope maybe that's possibly an LBW, but he's okay. Hopefully he's absolutely fine. But we need to be really careful. Let's be honest. He wouldn't be the first Pakistani fast bowler who's been mismanaged, gets injured, comes back too soon, gets injured again, stays out for too long, comes back too soon, has a dispute with the PCB, and before you know it, he's 27, 28 years old and he's playing in domestics and we don't see him again. So we've got to be careful with these guys, but I don't know if the infrastructure of the PCB is set up to manage our players' workload like that. I hope it is, but I doubt it.
I'm going to come back to things in a second. Assalamu alaikum, Shazad. How you doing?
Walaikum assalam, guys. I'm good. How's things? What's happening in the match? 3 down?
Yeah.
Everything busted.
Yeah, his review, it wasn't the greatest.
That's what you call
You guys.
an optimistic review.
I mean, the funny thing I found about that was, yeah, he must have been 1.5 2 foot away from his pad, so he can't have hit his pad, and literally he went, oh, didn't consult
I
nothing. He said, nah.
think he went totally blank. He went totally blank. But I think you got to have match awareness. Like you're a tail ender, you're using a review. It could cost an important wicket in the end. But the way things are, I think that won't make any difference. But given he's a senior player, he needs to have that game awareness.
There are times in cricket when you edge the ball and you're not genuinely sure, and it was a very faint edge, wasn't it? So, you know, in the run of this game, 300 odd behind. Are we going to save it? One chance in 10, 15, 18%. You know, more likely, unless there's some weather intervention, they'll either win today or tomorrow, won't they?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm going to hit this question, and I love your opinions on it as well. But I'm going to have a real opinion on it before anyone else. Do we just follow England's blueprint and start building from scratch? Get rid of the deadwood. England lost Strauss, Cook, KP, Swan, Trott, near enough at the same time, and look at them now. The issue I've got with that is, I remember always saying, England have Bairstow and Butler opening, or they have Roy opening. Why can't we do that? Well, Butler, Bairstow, Roy, Morgan. Where are they? We don't have them. No, we can't go for the blueprint if we haven't got the players. Would you agree with that?
I mean, if we're talking Test cricket, sorry.
Let Doctor take it, then it comes down to you. Go on.
All right, fair enough.
No, I mean, no, you're right. We can't grow players that don't exist. We can't put players in who and say go on back like Josh Butler if you've got less than half the talent that Josh Butler's got. So, I mean, in terms of Test cricket, I mean, Strauss, Cook, KP, Swan, and Trott. I mean, they are 5 pretty great England players. I mean, I don't know if we've got, you know, the thing that worries me, I guess, and the thing that's most difficult in sport, if you're a management team, is when you put a new player in, how long do you give them before you think, okay, you know what, maybe we've made a bit of a mistake here. So if we put him back in, for example, and we say, right, you're going to be our Andrew Strauss for the next 5 years, and he fails in his first test, and then he fails in his second test, and then he fails in his third test, and he fails in his fourth test, at what point do you say, this is not working, we've got to change it? Or do you think, no, hold on, we've got to go with the blueprint, we've got to keep him in the team for 10, 15 tests? So it's difficult. This is why talent identification is so important, and this is why being a selector is so important, because giving out a test cap means you're going to be in that position for the next 10 tests. And it's that's why we need some. I mean, Mohammad Wasim is going to be the new selector. I hope he's got a good eye for talent, because that is the key thing and temperament. Sorry, talent and temperament. That is just as important.
Nav, how long do we give him?
Hang on just a second. New Zealand just brought it on Daryl Mitchell. 4 test matches, 1 wicket, 109. I'm just switching over to my betting application. Put a load of money in and getting a fiver, given Pakistan's recent batting form. I think
right. Definitely.
I don't know who asked the question. The question was, well, you know, Strauss, Trott, Peterson, Swan all retired prior. They retired over a couple of years, but England have had how many openers before they've settled on Crawley and Sibley? That's taken them nearly 5. Nearly they've had Compton, they've had this, they've had that. They've gone back to Keaton Jennings. They've had half of South Africa, most of Zimbabwe, the whole of the West Indies, few Irishmen. They've really gone round the thing until they've come across a team. And despite Crawley and Sibley's, they're only newly established. Josh Butler, until Pakistan played him into form, his place was very, very dubious in that test team. Ollie Pope wasn't thingy, and they were just relying on Stokes and Root, really. So they've been fiddling around for 5 years, and I don't know how well Sri Lanka are going to play, but when they play India, they could again fall apart against spin. There's going to be Stokes and Roots plus some lesser players, and their bowling isn't going to really work out in India, is it? So people say, England are a really strong Test team, and they've got these players and they've replaced them. Honestly, I don't think they have. They're not a really great Test team at the moment.
Yeah, Shazad, the thing is, how long do you give these players? So say if we did go that route, yeah, and said, okay, we're gonna make 3 changes, 4 changes, right? We're bringing some new blood in. say we change both openers. Say we change someone in the middle order, and we say we're going to change a couple of bowlers around as well. Yeah, so we go drastic. We make 3 or 4, 5 changes maybe. Then how long do you give? Because the Pakistani mentality, before you even start, the Pakistani mentality is with the media, with the fans, and with the board. Maybe 2 failures, and people are already saying this guy's not good enough.
You've hit the nail on the head with this kind of, the journalists that we're talking about. They'll make it into a Karachi Lahore thing. I could have done this. Faisal Iqbal will say, offer to come out of retirement. You'll have the general kind of noise, people making noise on Twitter, and I think our players read that, and it gets amplified, and people will be making quotes, and Shoaib Akhtar will be saying something, and Mohammad Asif will be saying something. So it's a really, really difficult. You don't ever see that kind of really vitriolic debate about English players in the press, do you? The way our people do it to our players.
Yeah, go on, Shazad. How long do you give them?
Yeah, there are a few factors that needs to be taken into consideration, which kind of affect decision making at management level or at media level. So if you look at England, how they progress, if you have a team that is winning matches, and if you have a couple of players that are not performing, they don't really itch you, if that makes sense. Like, you'll keep on carrying the dead wood. They might perform, they may not perform. You give them chances. As long as the team is winning, nobody's asking a question. They may get a longer run in the team. But with the Pakistani setup, and also another factor is that if you have quite a big name in your team, like you have 4 or 5 players who are big names, and you're trying 1 and 2 with experiments, and if they keep on failing, again, that's not a thorn in the eye. They can keep on trailing for a longer run. With the Pakistani setup, we don't have any star players. We don't have any big names. Second, we're neither winning matches. So even one performance, one failure seems like it's end of their career. So this is where the problem is. If we keep on losing matches, I think the players will be singled out. Their performances will be singled out, as Nav was saying, that people will be sitting on the media and they'll say all the shit they want to, basically. So this is where the mindset is. Like, English condition, I think it will be totally unfair to compare that. How they trade on with the new talent and how Pakistan.
I know you're going to say, just hold on a second, Nav. I know you were going to say more, Shazad. I'm just going to say that is a really, really, really brilliant point. That it's so much harder to change. Sorry, it's easier to change a team that's doing really well. You bring a new player in, and they've got 4 or 5 brilliant players around them. It's easy. You can get 25, and while everyone else is scoring 50 and 60 around you, and you can kind of sail under the radar a little bit, and it doesn't matter. And Australia were brilliant at that. They'd lose, they'd just have, the Wars and McGrath and Warne and whatever. If they lost Ian Healy, Gilchrist would come in, and Gilchrist was given, he was brilliant from the start, but he was given time to kind of, to bed into the team. You lose one middle-order batsman, Ponting comes in, but the rest are still there. What we saw when Langer and Hayden and McGrath and Warne all went at the same time, it all fell apart, and all these new players coming in. I mean, Australia were between about 07 and 2013 maybe, or something like that. They had some really, really poor results. So I'm sorry to stop you mid-flow, but that's a really, really good point, that the rest of the team need to elevate these players, and they can't.
Yeah, it kind of reinforced what I was trying to say, but yeah, like there was an era. I remember 1999 World Cup. We had this opener, Jahatullah Vasti. I think he's one crap of a player, but nobody kind of made a hoo-ha of it because the team was doing really well. Like, we had big names, big players all around him. So like one player is weaker and others are stronger, you don't get really prominent. You don't get singled out. But in Pakistani separate right now, I think it will take probably years before we get to that stage. We have legends in the game. We have, like, Babar is one name, right, which is building up. He will be a legend. He is a legend right now, but he'll be an even bigger name if he has like 2-3 players along him. Like in the era of Mispa, if you remember, how were they able to crop to the top level? Because they had really big names like Yunus Khan, probably one of the best batsmen ever produced by Pakistan. Then he had Mispa himself. At some stages, Yusuf was there as well. So when you have bigger players, team is winning, you can give more chances or you can do more experiments. But right now, I think things doesn't look rosy for Pakistan. Even one chance failure will be bashed.
Can I say something? How much of this kind of seniors, junior, or mera senior, or mera junior, oh, he's my senior, that attitude still pervades the Pakistan team? That no other team has this, and how much that influences performance and selection? That he's a senior, that he is my senior, that he is my junior. Because it gets said again and again and again. You're thinking, if you're an elite sportsman, there should be no senior, no junior. You're in there on merit, but he's my senior. I must respect him.
I think it's not the culture of the team. I think we have to probably take a step back and look at the whole picture. It's the Pakistani culture. You can't take that away. It's in the family setup. It's in the community setup. It's in the street setup. So that elder and younger thingy, it's coming from
that's a spot fix. That's got to be.
Isn't it?
So why are India different then? Why don't India have that problem, or do they?
I'm sure they would have. Dhoni is still their god. Like, he was a senior, even though when he was not performing, you would see that there was a different respect level for him. I think India trails. We are subcontinent
an exception to the rule. There's a few players that will be exception to the rule. Yeah, Dhoni will be exception. Sachin Tendulkar, Dravid, for us, yeah, an Inzi or a Yusuf or a Misbah or a Yunus, they will be exceptions to the rule. They are.
I don't want to talk about them.
There's some great players, and they, you always will look up to them. But there's our culture, and sometimes people, the senior culture, a player plays for 10 years, has an average career, and they still think they are above everyone else.
Is he married to a tennis?
Fine, okay.
I don't know whether you saw the last India-Australia test match, and their captain
Rahane?
got run out by Jadeja or someone, and Rahane had quite a big score, and he just sort of tapped him, but don't worry about it, and went off. Could you imagine the reaction if someone run our captain out once he was on over 100, less a player?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of my point, though. That I we are, we're next door and all that. We're neighbours, and yet I don't think our culture is hugely different in that respect to Indian culture. Go on, Shizad, sorry.
I got the point. No, I think the difference there is it's the management, right? So I thought you're talking about the junior players within the team respecting their seniors, but the players getting selected on an average performance again and again, it's purely management's fault. It's purely PCB's fault. If you look at India's management, they are stronger. Indian, probably in that manner, they are stronger. But Pakistani management, they kind of keep that stigma. They have that attachment. Like, even if you look at Misbah, when he came back, he also gave chances to the seniors and took them along with. And even I saw an interview of Akid Javed today. He was bashing Misbah, but he was praising Shoaib Malik. So kind of they still have that stigma attachment. It's the name. If you look at Afridi at one point, at one stage, he was doing nothing. He was doing nothing at all, but he was getting picked. Star power makes a lot of difference. These names like Shoaib Malik, he has a star power. He's a fan following. Even though he's not performing, he still gets picked up. I think that charisma or that star power that kind of leaves a mark. I don't know how it works, but they keep on getting selected. Is that the point you guys are making, right? The seniors are getting selected even on average performances.
Yeah, there's lots of things around it. It's kind of how players have their own lobbies and people calling for X, Y, and Z. You know, there's a lot that goes on, and then a player gets picked to be like, I'm in the team, I'm here on merit, and there's no senior, no junior. I'm here, and I'm going to prove a point. Maybe they come as a team and they show overdue deference to he's a senior, and when they're facing Jimmy Anderson or someone else, he's made a senior, and they've already, you know, he's already won the battle over them because he is somehow better than they are. Because you don't, when you're playing cricket or football, you have to think I'm the best. You don't have to think, oh, he's better than me, and that kind of culture pervades to, oh, you're beaten mentally. That 1%, he's my senior. He's a very experienced bowler, the Jimmy. So you've lost the mental battle already, haven't you?
Mhm.
Or Mitchell
That's
Stark.
that. Someone asked me about Sajid Khan earlier on.
Sajid Ali.
And
I thought, didn't he do songs or Babia, that sort of thing?
no, Sajid Khan. He's playing for KPK, off spinner. I think he's around 27. Average is about 25. I think 140 odd wickets.
But averaging 25 against our batsmen is no major achievement.
Yeah, but 25 for an offie is pretty good. And you got to remember, our pitches this year especially have not been spin friendly. We're not making spin friendly wickets anymore.
Right, where do we actually play that is spin friendly? Pakistan. We don't go to a neighbouring country. We play occasionally in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. There's nowhere else in the world that we get particularly spin friendly pitches, do we?
Caribbean turns these days. Caribbean turns a fair
Sri
bit.
Lanka would turn.
Yeah, Sri Lanka tests don't really interest me.
Well, that's
Wait. Domestic cricket doesn't interest him. Sri Lanka test don't interest him. Rizwan doesn't interest him. Let's keep going.
Hamza Ahmed doesn't interest me.
So this comment just come through from Muhammad Awais. Oh, you've just gone past it, Amy, about India and how the culture in India does seem a little bit different for new players coming in. I wonder if I wonder how much the IPL. I wonder how much the IPL has had an impact on that, where you've got some of their more junior players can be captain or vice captain of whatever franchise, and they've got about 25 teams there, so everyone's got a job somewhere. So I just wonder if that maybe makes a difference, and maybe we'll see some of that with the PSL. I don't know as time goes on.
I think it was this one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the comment here. India had a problem, but now they have changed the culture altogether. Look at them now. Any player that comes in, the team looks confident and enjoy his cricket. I think one comment I would like to make on that, it will be unfair to compare Pakistan and India. India is ginormous compared to Pakistan. They're like 10, 20 times bigger. They have more teams. They have the cricket is their football, like us.
Can they make
have more players? No, they can't.
Do they like steak?
But in terms of players, I think they have a domestic level. They have so many teams. They have so many players. There's so much competition. So out of that crop, one of that will be good and coming into the team. So that's how they are getting their players. In Pakistan, one more comment I'd like to add. With Pakistan, they have been isolated for the last 10 years. That does make a difference. Like if someone is interested to play cricket, Pakistani team is not being televised in that manner, or they're not able to play in home conditions. That kind of takes that interest away. And I don't know whether if this is also affecting someone's decision to come into this sport.
No, it was not for either.
But aren't we ginormous compared to New Zealand? And don't we have more teams in New Zealand? And isn't New Zealand a rugby country? And yet somehow their cricketers have given us an absolute battering and have been doing that for the past 10 years. So I'm not saying your point is completely wrong. I agree to an extent. In fact, I agree completely. India helps by having 1 billion odd people. But this is the point I made the other day, is that the frustrating thing for me is that we are a one sport nation, pretty much, with 200 million people, and we can't find a bowler between the age of 20 and 30. So that is really, really frustrating, because I think you're right, Shazad. And
again, there's a critical comparison here to management. Look at their management. Look at their structure. What do we have? We've just recently changed our structure into something which can be more commendable or more strengthful for future, probably. But it's just a start. Maybe in future it might get us improved players. Like we used to have about 16 teams, isn't it? Now we have only 6 teams. It's now concentrated. The quality might come up far better.
Can I say something? When a player comes in to the team from next door, most of them have big IPL contracts, and so the pressure on them may not be as much. You know, a lot of our players, not particularly well off, come in and this is their chance to make money, so they put themselves under undue pressure. Where you come into the Indian team, you've played IPL, you are very comfortably off by Indian standards. You know, you're probably a multi-millionaire already, with it, you know, and so the pressure is off. It might make a difference, it might not. It shouldn't do in professional sports, but
there are various factors. Yeah, well, I will agree. This is a point as well in one of that factor.
So the one thing I would say, we're on the stroke of lunch now. We're 2 minutes away from lunch. Haris has been in for 34 balls. He's actually, again, I don't know what the people in the comments who are probably watching as well, I feel like he's looking a little bit more comfortable. Azza's looking all right.
He edged one, didn't he?
Yeah, the ball is 40 overs old. So again, just slightly bigger picture. We are going to lose this game, almost certainly. But if these two can bat for the next 20, 30 overs, get us close to that new ball, just moves the game on a little bit, gives Weather a chance to get involved. I just hope we don't subside after lunch. If these two come back for another session, that'd be good.
I mean, Azhar has looked in better form than he has for a long time in this series. That kind of technical fault that was coming in, falling over.
Nearly got help.
Yeah, but Harris, on the other hand, has scored 10, but his footwork again has looked limited. And I'm no one to comment anyone's weight, but and I've always thought that he was always a big lad, but he does seem to be on the side of podgy.
Azhar has just been troubled by 127 kph bouncer. He's fended off like it's kind of Joel Garner coming off a length.
It's jumped off a length, doesn't it?
Well, it wasn't.
Yeah, he hasn't got out to it.
Do you know what actually reminds me of Colin de Grandhomme? Just that sort of pace. And we know how that went. So
yeah.
I mean,
who
is this bowler? Is he related to Umar? He's got that sort of dinned look with a beard. I bet he supports Liverpool, was a bit of a bad loser.
I'm not even going to that. But yeah, so here we are. Well, virtually, I think this will be the last over before lunch.
3 balls to go, I think.
Yeah. But it's already 12, so yeah.
Well, so what is success? If we take this game into the 5th day, or we avoid an innings defeat, I would see that as a major success from this position.
So you're saying if we lose and come into day 5, is it still a success?
Well, it's relative. From where we are now, we're looking at losing a 10. Now, if the game were to finish, you know, in an hour's time, we'd have lost by an innings of 280 runs. That's a massive defeat. If we could drag it into the 5th day and lose by innings or 100, or just lose by 10 wickets or something, that would be seen. Or,
you know,
relative to where we are now.
The problem is either we get out today or by the last ball on tomorrow. If we lose by an innings, that'll be a very devastating defeat.
Yeah, but the moment,
you want to see some fight, isn't it? I mean, when we tuned in this morning, their morning and our night, basically, the least we sort of wanted was a bit of fight. I think we've seen that. We've seen some fight, some grit. The two things the one thing we have learned so far in this session is, as Dr. Akbar picked up earlier, is that Abid is still getting out in the 20s. So that hasn't changed. Obviously, Abbas was batting. I mean, you didn't expect him to last very long. And as has decided to, getting hit by short bowling from about 125 kph at max. twice this over.
And he's struggling for some reason.
Just a quick question. Did you say that?
Oh no!
He's
I'm
fallen
so
short.
No, he's safe. He's safe.
Yeah, but
Is he gone?
The bowling's coming into him. He's got two men for that. It's almost like a junior leg side, right? Older leg theory.
Seriously?
How would you play that?
Last ball, he was nearly caught.
I thought it carried.
So what would you do? Would you duck? How would you play that bowling?
Oh no, there was a.
I would like to think if I'd been an international cricketer for 15 years and I've got that coming at me, I would either be able to hit it pull off or duck. I don't think I'd be fending off like it's the most difficult short bowling I've ever faced.
Yeah, but where it wasn't at the duckable high, and it wasn't at the thing because it was sort of coming in. It was that kind of annoying bowling. It won't work for much longer because the bounce will go. But it was just in that sort of rib region where you don't really want to be hooking it, and you don't really want to be. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think at 125 kph, you have like a batsman like Azhar. He has a lot of time to kind of analyze what to do. The way he's reacting is like a jerk reaction, so that doesn't
it doesn't. He hasn't got out to it, so it doesn't matter. I mean, he's had a good Test series. He's not making that mistake. So,
to be honest, I'll agree with you, Nav. The shots he has played today, he looked in prime form. Like a few of the cover drives were really, really elegant, really nice. So Azhar is looking good.
69.
I really hope that he's able to see through today and tomorrow. Like he's played 82 balls. Like we have only lost 3 wickets in 40 overs. It's kind of a positive we can take. We haven't made a lot of runs, but we are able to see off 40 overs. That's not a small amount of overs. If we are able to see off today and tomorrow and until the end of the day tomorrow, that'll be amazing. This is what we want.
If we save this Test match, once lockdown is over, I will take each and every one of you.
Biryani.
I will take you to any restaurant you want. Steak. We'll have a nice beef steak, right, with all the trimmings. Restaurant of your choice. It's like Indian kryptonite, that stuff.
He says it right when we're in the middle of a lockdown when you can't go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
I said when it's over.
So there's a comment just
by the time it's over, I'm expecting my kids, yeah.
How many?
Age.
You're 5 kids.
Wait, however many there are.
There's a comment come through from Billy about intent and timid batting, and saying that is a little bit on the timid side.
Yeah, but
but comparing it to Abbas's banter, which I think is quite a good point, to be honest. Not that he bowled that many short balls, but when he did, they didn't cause much trouble.
Yeah,
no.
We're playing to save a Test match, not playing to score runs. Runs are not important. We're trying to save this Test match.
Yeah, how do you adjust? How do you move the field? How do you stop one man under the lid and another man at short fine leg?
It was the last over before lunch. Can you imagine the act, right? If he'd got a top edge or got out hooking or pulling? Well,
no one got a top edge pulling or hooking when it was a bus. You've got to execute. As that early should not be getting out to a short ball from Daryl Mitchell at 100 kph.
I'll add to that. I think it could be a strategy. He's not trying to hook. He's not trying to make a shot because they are trying to just tuk. They're trying to save this match. So any ball, whether it's a comfortable height or not, he's just trying to fend it. So I think that could be one of the strategy and mentality that they just have to stop these balls.
In the end, it's immaterial. He survived. He didn't get out.
Safe play, I would say. Yeah.
In the record books, he's still got a not out. Let's see what comes out later.
How many? Before I go, how many do you think Harris will score?
26.
I wouldn't mind him scoring 26 on 200 balls. That'll be an achievement.
It still doesn't take us very far, though.
Sorry?
Doesn't take us very far. If he gets 26 off 200 balls either.
No, to be fair though, that goes against Harris's natural instinct. So if he does want to go into kind of completely defensive mode over my dead body and bats out over 30 overs for 20 runs, that's a very un-Harris-like innings. So I'd be quite impressed by that.
At some stage, he'll have a brain fade.
Well, this is the thing. This is why I say 26. I'd love him to get 260. Of course, all of us would. But realistically, I think he'll play at some point. He'll play a shot he shouldn't, and he'll get out, and that might be it for Harris for a while. To be honest, I think it probably should.
38. I'm going to go for 38.
I'll go for about 62 and just enough. And poor old Fawad will fail, and he'll be chucked out, and Harris will keep his place. Which is about Pakistan. It's not how you play; it's your last innings that make it the man.
Mm-hmm. Shazad?
Okay, Billy has a comment that that's a poor mindset. Sorry, but I like to defend that. Given we can't win this test, man. We have to be practical, right? Is there any chance or any possibility can we win it? The answer is no. So what do we need to do from here? We are trying to save the test match. So this is what the strategy would be for these players, to see off as many balls as they can, because the idea is to survive until tomorrow. So that is the mindset, and it is the strategy.
But Shaz, you can be positive. You can be positive in defence. That's all I would say. We won't labour the point. I just think you can be positive with your footwork. You can be positive with your running, and you can be positive with saying, you know what, last over before lunch, you're not bowling. I'm not going to let you bowl short to me at that pace. Have that.
Billy.
And Akbar, but think about it. If just doing that, he by mistakenly error hooks it and it goes up, looks something in the air, and keeper takes a catch. So who's going to get the blame?
And if Billy,
Akbar.
and if Billy thinks we can win this test match, just send me his postcode, and I'll send the police round for a 136 for a local mental hospital. Because really, to win this test match, we need to score 600, about 10 and over, and then bowl them out in about 2 sessions.
I think Billy's in the northeast, so that's going to be one heck of a trip. But I think well, whatever. We won't labour the point. Everyone's got their own opinion, haven't they? To be fair, though, I'm sure Billy will mention this in the comments. I don't think he's saying I don't think he thinks we're going to win this game. I think it's more a question of being positive.
We've got 2 days. We might well use them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy's agreeing with you, Akbar. So, yeah, you guys.
Okay, good.
Right. Is this the last? Are we going to have a review of this test match tomorrow? Review of have we discussed everything? So
there'll be nothing. The game will still be going on tomorrow. There'll be nothing to review.
Spoken like a true optimist.
I mean,
you guys what? I'll tell you a positive story. There
to us earlier that, like, we're going to be winning this tomorrow.
Well, even if we get a draw, I think that's more than a win on it anyway. If we get a draw from here.
Every cloud has a silver lining, brothers. And if New Zealand win, that will hopefully take us to the Chess Championship final against Australia. No one else, we won't have a team from, anywhere near us.
Do you guys remember that innings where it was Shoaib Malik and Kamran Akmal on his opposite, right? And they saved the test match in a draw by batting the whole day.
Against who?
I don't remember, but
I don't remember Kamran Akmal saving anything.
No, he did. There was one game.
There was one match.
There was, I remember.
They both batted for the whole day. And didn't lose any wickets. So if they can do it, Shoaib Malik, Kamran Akmal, then we have a whole batting lineup like 7 players.
Did he drop any catches in that test match?
He must have, given to his consistency. But this is what we want tomorrow.
Do you think
at the end of the day, it's just lunchtime, isn't it?
Who I want to find, right? I'm gonna launch a TV series. Who told the Akmals to play cricket? There is someone somewhere in Pakistan who stood there and said, "Beta, you boys are like good wicket keepers. There's a wicket keeper in Bano." And that bloke needs to be found and flogged within an inch of his life.
But you know what? It comes down to the whole family. If they didn't have the culture, we wouldn't have Babar Azam. He's their cousin. So one positive, isn't it?
That's like, going to the dentist, having all your teeth root canaled, and then saying you're going to get a sticker. Because we've had to suffer a lot to get Babar Azam. We really have.
Absolutely. It was worth it. Trust me, it was worth it.
Wait. Shazad, how old are you?
I'm just 17.
I wonder who made Kamran Akmal a wicket keeper. I mean, like, what guy said to him, you know what, you're capable of being a wicket keeper?
Sorry, Amy, I can't hear you. What? Say it again.
I said, I wonder which person woke up one morning and said to Kamran Akmal, "You're good enough to be a wicketkeeper." I wonder which guy it was
when
that
he
gave him that.
started, I think it was Rashid Latif and Moin Khan when they were playing, and after that, Kamran Akmal came into the scene. When he started, he was actually good. He was actually quite spectacular, I would say. Like, he was really, really athletic. He used to fly and get the catches. But down the line somewhere, something happened, and he lost that. He lost that ability to do something like that. I don't know. But we were discussing that when Kamran Akmal started. He used to be good initially, isn't it?
Kamran Akmal, yeah. I mean, Akmal was.
Well, he wasn't a natural wicketkeeper though.
No, I mean, I think
he started
the
wicketkeeping.
Yeah.
He was 13, 14.
Yeah, no, exactly. He started quite late, but if you think back to some of the innings he played around 04, 05, 06, we mentioned this the other day as well on the show. He was brilliant. He was getting runs at the top of the order. He was not dropping the majority of his catches.
Yeah.
He was a good player, but obviously I think where it started going wrong, there was the England tour in 06 where the ball was wobbling about all over the place, and from there really it was all downhill.
And he totally lost confidence. After that, he wasn't able to do something.
No,
at
absolutely.
one point, he was a captain of the test team. Can you imagine?
Say that again.
At one point, he was a captain of the test team.
He was. Which game did Kamran Akmal captain?
Or maybe I might be
I
wrong.
don't think he did.
Kamran Akmal,
No, I don't think he ever captained.
Yeah, no, I don't remember Kamran Akmal captaining.
Would have been probably dropping the games badly. I don't know why at like 12:15 at night, so just past midnight. Why am I thinking of Kamran Akmal? I mean, the most random person in the world here. I'm trying to discuss it today.
Desperate times for desperate measures, I guess, don't they?
Yeah, we brought his point because
Akmal
and Shoaib Malik, they were the ones who actually saved the test match by batting the whole day.
So if we're reminiscing just during the lunch break about lost loves, who else was entirely kind of seduced by Umar Akmal when he first came into the team? Because I thought he was going to be.
He started good, yeah.
I think every single person thought that we had found our Sachin Tendulkar. Everyone had high hopes about him.
Yeah, when Umar Akmal started, I think Umar Akmal and Kohli started the same stage probably, and there used to be a comparison, and Umar Akmal used to come at like a better player than Kohli at one point. There was an innings he played in New Zealand, a very gritty and a very courageous innings he played. He made about 90 odd runs. That was one of his best highlights. He started really well like his brother, but followed his footstep and went down the hill.
Do you think he was managed in a wrong way, Umar Akmal?
It was his mindset. He was too egoistic. He thought he was a big player.
I don't think he was given enough responsibility. I seem to remember Oh, where's that come from?
You broke up with me.
If Imi's broken up, I'll make a quick point and then I'll let Imi come back in. I thought Umar Akmal was batted too low in ODI cricket for quite a long time. I seem to remember him, he always used to come in around 35th to 42nd over, and he used to think, right, I'm Umar Akmal, I've got all the shots, I've got to play some ridiculous innings, which, to be fair, you would want someone to do when they come in. But he never gave himself enough time to get set, to get in, and he'd always make something like 12 off 14 or 12 off 10. He'd get out, and then I guess that's going to do not very much for your confidence either. So I don't think he was managed particularly well.
I will agree with Akbar because at one point he also went to, there was a ceremony where Imran Khan attended, and he went up to him and said that, can you please tell my captain to send me up the order? So he used to plead that he wants to bat up the order, but he was kind of misused, and it was his own fault as well. So there was a combination of both probably.
You know, with
So I
him,
think
there was an issue. There was an issue about him, yeah, where one, I don't think he was given the right role. He was never given responsibility and said, you know what, this is your role and get on with it. Because he was always batting at 6, and it's just one of them. And number two, a lot of it comes down to mentality. I don't think he had the hunger or the desire to become, you know, like Shazad, you mentioned Virat Kohli. The difference between them is not just that. I mean, Virat's elevated the game talent-wise as well, but Virat had this desire to be the best. Umar Akmal had this Pakistani thing in his head where he already thought he was the biggest thing in the world.
Exactly. Yeah.
Imi, I'm sorry. I shouldn't make a joke like this, but have you seen the size of him? I don't think hunger's a problem. But anyway, that's cheap. That's
You know
cheap.
what? When I said it, yeah, I actually thought exactly the same thing. And
Yeah,
like, guess what I pictured? I've seen a photo of all 7 brothers together, and I just looked at them in this picture, and I thought to myself, they cook must have a very hard day. 7 of them is in that all quite big.
This is a thing, but this is a professionalism. If we kind of, you know, to make a more serious point, it is about professionalism, isn't it? And it's about, you know, the difference between someone like Kohli and Imi. You've mentioned it before about, you read interviews with Kohli who hasn't had bad food for 3 years and doesn't have an extra meal or doesn't, you know, no cheat days. Absolute 100% commitment to your profession 24/7, and that is difficult, and that's difficult no matter what job you do, and it's difficult for me, it's difficult for any of you guys in the work you do to be that dedicated and that committed. But then that's why he's one of the best players ever, and it's why, you know, maybe we're not the best whatever in our field, because that it's difficult to be like that.
Don't you think he was made of example quite a bit as well?
I think to an extent he might have been made an example of, to say to the rest of the players, look, you're not going to get anywhere just with talent alone. And I don't doubt that he was talented. You know, people make this joke, don't they, that Pakistan fans think, oh, you know, we all think that our players are talented, right? And I think we're a bit guilty of that sometimes. But I genuinely think Umar Akmal did have talent. I think it was mismanaged, wasted by himself, and he probably was made an example of, to say you can't just, you know, having good hand-eye coordination and being able to smear a few sixes, that's not enough. We need total dedication. And I don't think Umar was capable of it.
Guys, I'm just going to say one point. Just 1 second. I've got to go, so you guys carry on. Thank you for joining me earlier, and now for joining Dr. Akbar. I've got to go. Assalamualaikum.
Cheers, Amy.
Okay, Assalamualaikum.
See you, Amy.
Speak to you tomorrow.
Walaikum salam.
Yeah, so what I was saying, Doc, yeah, is basically, I think he was made an example of, and the other thing was, I think a bit of favoritism comes into it as well. But I don't think he was, Mickey was too much of a fan of him as well. I think he even said it as well. He was like complaining that, oh, Mickey doesn't like me, this, that, and the, you know, coach. I'm sure there was some kind of hype going around at that time.
Yeah, there was, and again, some of it is sometimes the players' fault, because I don't think we have the most professional bunch. I mentioned it yesterday, though. I think the communication to players from the PCB is awful. It can't be a coincidence that whatever, Junaid Khan, Amir, Hafiz, Malik, whoever, okay, they also, whenever they're dropped, they always say, I didn't see it coming. No one told me.
That's what I was. That's the exact thing what I was just gonna say. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen lately Muhammad Amir's interview or the videos what he's been making, and he goes, the first time I hear of it when I've been dropped is from the media and from Twitter or from the news channels. They don't even have the decency to tell us that, look, we're going to be dropping you, or this is a scenario, this is where you're going wrong, and this is what you need to do, or anything like that.
And this is the thing, because it actually makes them, in some people's eyes, you almost have a bit of sympathy for them, which really shouldn't be there, because most of these guys have been dropped because they're not performing. But then there's a way to go about it as well, isn't there?
To do it, yeah.
Shaz, what do you think?
Yeah, it's all about psychology, isn't it? Like other teams have psychologists in place where they not control, but they kind of tame the mindset of the players. Like they take them along, they make them understand why they are taking these decisions. But in Pakistan, it kind of shows that it lacks that system. Like as Cal was saying, that how Amar was dropped, it was not done in a proper way. Like, he's a senior player, he has a name, he's a star name, isn't it, in our Pakistani team. So there should have been a medium whereby someone is talking to him, telling him that this is going to happen. What this does, it actually stops that rebellion. Why a player come out and do all that rebellious stuff? Because they feel unsatisfied, they feel they have been unjustified the way they have been treated. So
and let down.
it results in that. Yeah.
Do we agree with that with Hamza then?
Because if
example of someone who coasted, I think he coasted to an extent, to be honest.
Yeah,
and then there's obviously about Umar Akmal and Ahmed Shahzad about having egos, thinking they've achieved everything they can be achieved. For me, that goes back to the point I was making earlier.
They did have a bit of ego.
Yeah, well, they did have a bit of ego. I think it's difficult because.
But I think you can have ego if you're performing. If you've got something there, you're showing that you've got the talent and you're doing something and you can show the ego. I've got it. That's different then. But if you're not doing nothing and you're trying to show ego at the same time, it doesn't work like that. You can't be doing that.
I will agree. They are a combination of factors. So in their mindset with MS Shehzad and Umar Akal's psychology, they thought that they are now the seniors. They are the best products in the Pakistan market, and they expected a level of respect and that seniority. But on the other hand, they were being treated as fair enough. They were not performing, so you wouldn't get that respect if you're not performing. So to them, it felt like, oh, they have been disrespected, or they have been let down. But they had that ego problem 100%. But I'll agree with Akbar as well. There was a mismanagement as well, how they were used.
To what extent do we think someone like Ahmed Shahzad is mocked slightly for his selfies and his Twitter and his videos with the 3D and his photos, and Umar Akmal putting his workouts on YouTube? Do we think that's and obviously this is coming from someone who hasn't spent a lot of time in Pakistan, I have to be honest. Do we think that is almost at odds with Pakistani culture? And so that's why there's a little bit of kind of, who's this? Would they almost fit with their kind of topless or kind of showing their guns and those kind of photos? Do you think that would almost fit more in India or somewhere else like that, as opposed to maybe they just didn't come across as very Pakistani people? I don't know.
I think, Doc, if they were performing, nobody would be bothered. Do you know what I'm saying? If they were performing, I don't think anybody would be bothered at all. But because they're not performing, so everybody start mocking them, saying, oh no, they're not even performing anyway. They're just trying to show off on Twitter and they're doing this and then selfie man, and everybody's gonna have a go at you. If you're not performing, you're not doing nothing. You shouldn't be doing that just to get the limelight on the media. You should be staying away, and then trying to put your head down, get back into the team, perform, and then you can do what you want. But if you're not performing and you're doing that, obviously you're gonna get mocked, and you're just gonna have a negative effect. You're just making it worse for yourself, I think. And I think that's what they did.
I'll add to that. In some manner, Umar Akmal, I think his incidents off the field did pave the way of his going out of the team. Like there was an incident, he was, I don't know, at a party somewhere or doing something in Karachi, and that led to his exclusion from the team. So Ahmed Shahzad, in comparison, was a little more decent. Like he was a selfie man, he had all those old pictures, but Umar Akmal was a little bit of nuisance, if that makes sense. Like he had done a few things off the field, which kind of raised questions on being a role model. He represents Pakistan cricket. So
do we put up with it more then if they're performing on the pitch, essentially? So basically, you can. I know, kind of, we have to kind of watch our language, but in New Zealand rugby, they have a rule, okay, and it's called like the no dickheads rule, basically, in that you don't have an ego and you're not bigger than the team, and that's a very well known kind of phrase that they have in the New Zealand team. But again, I wonder if maybe you tolerate some of that stuff if the player is performing. So someone like, I always go to football, but someone like Eric Cantona or Roy Keane at Man United got into so much trouble off the pitch, and yet they were always kind of brought back into the team, and they were always kind of supported by the manager because they performed. And I guess, like you're saying, Cal, this would have been tolerated if they'd had the runs to back it up. So it's not that we It's not that we don't
Exactly.
like players
So
showing
nobody, you know what it is?
we need
You know-
something to show off about.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You know, if they were performing, nobody's bothered. You know, they just think, yeah, whatever, no problem. When you're not performing and you're trying to come and get into the limelight, then people are going to be mocking you, saying, you're not doing anything anyway, and you're just trying to show off, or you're trying to do this, you know, and then that's just bringing an even worse image for yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
So
you're just trying to get
Yeah, totally,
a
totally
negative
agree.
limelight,
Totally agree
a
with that, yeah.
negative.
So the comment about
Like,
Barber,
I'll give you the example of Ben Stokes. He had an incident off the field which led to his exclusion from the team, but he was brought back because he's one of the best in the world. With Umar Akmal, he wasn't performing and he was doing things off the field which were not decent. So obviously then he fell out with Mickey Arthur, even though I think he performed in that one PSL. He was the second highest run scorer, but because Mickey was in charge, he didn't let him back in the team. So even though he was performing, but because of those incidents and because of his relationship with the management, he wasn't then brought back into the team.
So there's a mention about Barber and the beauty of Barber and that he's managed it kind of really well so far. The one criticism, and I think it's wrong, to be honest, I'd be interested in your thoughts, but the one criticism about Barber that he gets as a captain and as an ambassador of Pakistan cricket is that he's almost too far the other way, okay? So he's a very quiet guy. He doesn't seem particularly comfortable on camera in English or in Urdu, to be honest. And people do have a go at the fact that his English is not great. I think that's really, really unfair, but you have to appreciate that you're going to be doing interviews with English media, and let's be honest, the cricketing world is largely English speaking. Do we just ignore that? I don't care what language I speak. If he's scoring runs and captaining well, he's fine. Or actually, do you think it's something we need to work on, Shaz?
Given what he is doing with his bat, is making his bat talk. So if you look at other countries, like other sports, for example, Rafael Nadal, if you look at his speech or when he speaks after the match, he never speaks in English, even though that sport is primarily English based. So I think as long as you're making your bat talk and he is able to lead the team in a manner that is winning the matches, nobody will ask the question. Nobody would even care how is he speaking. But he is a bit shy. But even though he's not speaking English, what he needs to develop or maybe polish is a bit of the personality. Like even if he's speaking Urdu, he needs to come across as confident, because if you're confident, that kind of shows that how you're leading the team, how you're managing the players. That kind of brings out your credibility, isn't it? So that is something he needs to show, that aggressiveness, or he needs to show that leadership. But he is making his bad talk, so no questions, no complaints.
Yeah, Cal, you'd agree? You don't, Barber's English is not so great. You're not.
I think what it is, obviously, what it is, obviously, comes from Pakistan. Obviously, is not great of maybe they don't really concentrate too much on the English side. So I think we get that a lot down. Pakistan, players coming from Pakistan. So I think PCB need to maybe implement that in there, like integrate it as well, like getting the players to learn the English, because obviously they've got to travel all over the world. So majority of the world all speaks English. So they should try integrating it into the system, like as the player is going along. Like obviously they go through under 16, under 17, under 19. So by the time they've got to the proper level, because before that they're not really going to get talked to, very unlikely. Yeah. So it's mainly when they're going to get talked to is when they've come to the national team. So, but by the time they get there, they should be able to talk, at least be able to talk and understand the English.
Yeah, so the comment
so
Saad, I think Saad mentioned about media training, so I think he would agree with you there. He's been going on about it for years. That it doesn't necessarily mean English training, but just being able to be diplomatic in interviews, I guess, is something as well, isn't it? And not giving away too much. That's also quite important, I guess. Looking at yeah, go on.
I just remembered, when Inzi was newly captain, when he used to do his interviews, his boys done very well.
Yeah.
I still remember that, and people used to just take the mick out of him, because he used to just that's all he used to answer to, his boys done well. You know, his English was really, really bad. But obviously, gradually he learned. You know, what that stage is too late. You know, it's
So if
you're learning. You know, when you already.
So now that he is captain, and we've said that, okay, it doesn't matter so much that his English isn't great. That's not a big issue. It's not a big issue for me either. Does it become a big issue in 3 or 4 years' time if he's still the captain and he's still struggling to kind of communicate?
Yeah, but then he should no. Then he should. In 3 or 4 years is a long time. Yeah, he should be able to communicate in English then by that time. 3 or 4 years, because he should be able to learn the words. You know, normal. You know, bits and bats. He should be able to do that.
Again, everyone has their own personal opinion.
Because at the end of the day, another thing, yeah, he's in English conditions. Like he's playing for Somerset.
Yeah.
So how is he supposed to communicate with all them players? What is he gonna have a translator with him all the time? He must be communicating with them somehow, and the only language is English.
I think standing in front of camera with the media personnel, like even I will shake. I won't be able to speak properly, but he knows English. He knows how to speak. With the players in the dressing room or going about on the field, he can chat. It's just that, as one of the comments said, that media training is the word probably. So he can speak, but he probably might need some media training. But again, my way of seeing this is a bit different. I wouldn't be really bothered if he even doesn't speak any English after 5 years. Captaining the team, he's winning the matches, making his name in the record books. Who cares? He doesn't speak English.
Yeah, no,
my point of view.
No, I have to be honest. I would agree. And if I think it's sometimes we look for a stick to beat people with, don't we? And I think if in 3 or 4 years' time Pakistan aren't doing well because we don't have a good domestic structure and we don't have good batsmen and bowlers, it would annoy me if people said, "Oh yeah, and Babar doesn't speak English," because you would think, "Well, hold on a second. How is that relevant to anything?" Because you know, if we're number 1 in the world and we're beating everyone, no one's going to even mention the fact that our captain doesn't speak good English. It's just that it is something that I've seen a lot. And judging by the comments, I think most people in the comments who are mentioning stuff are saying actually it doesn't matter. But you do, you know, you just go on social media and have a look. There's a lot of criticism about Babar for
it. You know what? When you're not winning, even like English is one thing. Like look at Kohli. When India loses a match, they burn his effigies, right? So when you're not winning, it's not just English. It will be any point. People will just pluck it out of the air and bring it out. So that is one point. When team is not doing well, we are losing the matches. They will try to bring them down, make them small, right? So this is one of the points they might bring up. But if the team is doing well, you will see nobody will even think about it or even ask about it. So when the team is losing, that point has been highlighted. It's one point, but they will probably pick up any point that will be negative for the team. So it's all about maintaining that success rate is the key. And as long as Babar is making runs, if his team is winning, again, no question will be asked. But when, let's say, he is very fluent in English, when our team loses, would that make any difference? Would there be no negative criticism on him? They will pick up some other points. So when you lose, any point becomes an issue.
Yeah. The only thing I would say, and this is not a criticism at all, but I don't think Pakistan get the recognition they deserve in the English-speaking world, okay? And I do wonder if some of that comes from the fact that we can't sometimes, you know, if there is a media opportunity or there's a chance to get to know the England commentators, for example, or the Australia commentators, you know, someone like Sarfraz can't take it so well. Someone like Babar can't take it so well. So and it depends how much it annoys you. As a fan, it annoys me that when English commentators are watching England versus Sri Lanka and they're talking about some of the best spinners in the world, they'll never mention Yasir Shah because it's happening somewhere else, and they don't see Pakistan, they don't think of Pakistan because they don't kind of see Pakistan as a big nation. And I don't know if some of that comes down to maybe a lack of communication or just getting to know these players. I think the fact that we probably don't play IPL, that probably doesn't help either. Just put our players out there. It almost feels like you've got to be absolutely extraordinary, like Babar doesn't, to be known, kind of recognised by the rest of the world. But anyway, that's probably put that one to bed. There's a comment from Saad about Kohli transforming his personality. I have to say, as much as maybe we're not India fans here, as time has gone on, I found him a harder bloke to dislike over the years as maybe I might have done 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know if that's the same with you guys, just watching him bat and watching him, the way he comes across a little bit.
When he came originally on the scene, he was really aggressive. But I think as time's gone along, he's understood the game more properly. I think he's become more humble. That's the way I've seen him anyway.
Billy Jones.
When he came on the scene, he was really aggressive.
Mahmood,
Yeah.
Mr. Maybe better translator than a coach. Right, I think they're all random comments now. Right,
no,
calling it a day,
okay.
or unless you guys are staying.
Well, why don't we stick around for another maybe 5-10 minutes, have a couple of overs, and see how we get on, and then I think maybe we'll end things there then.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Well, it's 20-1 now. You can do 20 if you want 20 minutes.
Well, Shaz, whenever you're ready to go, let us know, and we'll probably wrap things up there. We'll see if Harris can get to 40 balls or something after lunch. Just more comments that are coming through. Again from Billy, freedom of speech. Everyone has allowed an opinion. However, it's easy making a mountain of a mole. So some people you can never win. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You can't win if you're not performing well and your team's not winning. There will always be people kind of ready to kind of criticize you. Another comment from Saad: Misbah will win you 8 Test series at home. Yeah, is it a bad thing to be kind of bullies at home and just win all your series at home? I mean, that's what India and that's what Australia have been doing for quite a long time now, isn't it, Chaz?
Everybody's doing that. Look at New Zealand now. Apparently,
Sorry.
New Zealand won New Zealand have won every single Test match. What they've played is they've won every single one at home, and they've only played at home, and they've won all of them.
Yeah. So
the thing is, how many are we actually getting 8 Test series at home? I really doubt that. I think South Africa is the first one after ages. What other series do we have after that?
Yeah, but the class Dubai, they used to classify as home, didn't they?
Oh, Cal, we can hear you, but we can't see you. I think what's coming up is we've got South Africa. There you go. Go on. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I was saying
Okay,
that our home has been Dubai in it. So maybe that's the reason why they class it as
Dubai.
home.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, for a long time we were brilliant there. And if you think about some of the teams we beat there, we beat Australia there a couple of times. We beat in England there a couple of times. Until recently, we didn't lose to New Zealand. We certainly beat them, or certainly drew with them anyway. So that was
Let's not forget that team combination. We had one of the great names in those times. But now, given we have a young team still struggling, I don't know whether we'll be able to put up that performance in our home conditions or not.
But if you think about it, Shazad, we had 2 players who are still in the team now, what was doing really well for us in Dubai, and that was Yasir Shah and Abbas. These 2 players were doing really well for us in Dubai. They was getting a lot of wickets.
And to be fair, for a while before
Mohammed
Abbas, I would say before Mohammed Abbas, it was Yasir +1. So it was Yasir and Zulfikar, or Yasir and Abdul Rahman, or before that, Saeed Ajmal obviously would spin us to a few victories on the back of one of the top order getting a nice big hundreds. Usually someone like Yunus or Misbah or Azareli, someone would get a big score. We'd put up 500 by tea on day 2, and then scoreboard pressure, and we'd kind of win the game. So yeah, we had a very kind of tried and tested formula, which is why I'm really looking forward to the South Africa series, because the South Africa series for me will be the first time since 2007 that we've played a big team in Pakistan, because we had Zimbabwe and Sri Lanka in 2008. Obviously, then things went completely wrong. Then we've had Zimbabwe back, we've had West Indies back for some limited over stuff, but we haven't played a proper, and obviously Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, but we've not had a proper series against a proper big name. So I'm really looking forward to this South Africa series. I don't think just as the first ball's about to be bowled, and Harris has squirted that away for one. I don't. I can't wait. I can't wait for this series, and I don't think South Africa are going to be the pushover that I mentioned this earlier. I think it's going to be as easy as some people think. They're not as bad as maybe they showed in the past year.
No. I can't see them being a pushover. No way.
Shazad, what do
I'm
you
really
think?
excited. I'm really excited. Looking forward to it. I totally second that. Like seeing Pakistan play a bigger team at home conditions. Are they able to put up that performance what they're doing in domestic? Like if we bring out a few of the players like Kamran Ghulam or Imran Butt or Saud Shakil, whether they'll be able to replicate what they were doing in domestic. That'll be really interesting to see. However, having said that, it's South Africa. It's just a mental pressure. You know, when you take the name Pakistan versus South Africa, you are young. Our team is very young. So these players coming into their debut matches, what pressure will they have, and how they will be able to deal with it will be the key. South Africa still has really good names. They have a few good players, a few big players. It will be very interesting to see how they will perform against them at home conditions.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because some of the, I don't know if Rabada's going to be fit for that series. He hasn't played the second test against Sri Lanka, I don't think. They've got Sipamla, I think, taking quite a few wickets. They've obviously got Norkia, who's bowling at the speed of light at the moment. And obviously with the batsman, Van der Dussen is kind of pretty new. But a lot of these players, certainly from memory, can't remember many of them in the PSL or anything like that. So a lot of these players would never have played in Pakistan. So yeah, it'd be an interesting one to watch. And I don't know what to expect. I really don't, because obviously with Pakistan, rarely do you know what to expect. And to be honest, with South Africa at the moment, they are very hit and miss. They looked awful on day one of the first test against Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka had about 4 injuries, and South Africa ended up winning that game. Watch out for Faf. He's been to Pakistan, of course. Yeah, Faf had his 1 game run in the PSL, didn't he? I think recently, which didn't end well. Yes, boundary for Azad, I think that was. So there's a few comments saying that can we carry on? I think we might have to call it a day. Unfortunately, I personally have a day off tomorrow, so I think I'm going to be in a masochistic way watching this to the bitter end. But
why do you have a day off tomorrow?
I often have Wednesdays, often do the weekend instead. So it's a nice little mini weekend in the middle of the week. So. Looking ahead, I thought, well, this day 4 of the second test against New Zealand might be the night that we win the series 2-0 and take the trophy home. But I don't think it's gonna pan out that way. So if anyone's got a couple more comments they want to kind of come in with, now is the time. Otherwise, go on, Cal. Sorry.
I think the main thing is, if we can get through this session, without losing a wicket, the main session I think is the last session. That's where I think we've been getting trouble. Like this test and the other test is the last session. We've been in a lot of trouble. So I think this is the main session. If we can go without a wicket this session.
Yeah.
I mean, this ball is 42 overs old now, so we've got 38 overs till the new ball. That probably takes us till about 40 minutes after tea, something like that. So we'll probably have about an hour and a half with the new ball. And if it's these two at the crease, that would be lovely. I mean, this is really wishful thinking, but if we can end the day, the last test match, we ended the day 3 down, and we almost survived the whole 4 sessions. So if we can get to the end of this day 4 down, that gives us 6 wickets to play with on day 5. Now this might look very stupid in about half an hour's time when we've lost another 3 wickets, but
if we survive this the whole day, we should, as long as though they like scoring normal, we should be around about 300, 250, 300. If we survive the day, without any wickets, and they're just scoring regular, we should be at 300.
I don't think they're looking to score regular.
Then I think we got a but they should, because if they can't go into a complete shell, I think they should just carry on scoring where they can score. Just play your normal shots, try scoring. Don't just completely go into a shell, because then if you're going to go completely into a shell, you're definitely going to make a mistake somewhere.
Lovely shot from Harris.
You just carry on just playing your natural game.
So okay, final predictions then.
Because then if it gets closer,
go on, Cal.
So I was saying that basically, if we can it's possible. We just need a little bit of luck to go outside. Yeah, if we can go wicketless today, without any more wickets dropping, we'll be really close to their score. What did they get? Was it? Well, we'll be about 50 runs short or something like that.
Yeah, we're 284 behind at the moment.
We're 50 runs short, and then we're going to be coming back. Yeah, so we'll be coming back tomorrow, and then we've got a very good chance of getting them to bat again. That's what we need to look at, if we can get them to bat again.
I just love this optimism. We are 3-4 minutes after lunch, and we're talking about
I think at
wicket for the rest of the day.
Look, at the end of the day, we can't think negative.
At any stage,
we've got to
Cal,
think a little bit
we can't let them bat again, because if we have, let's say, a total of 50, 60 odd runs, they'll fire away, they'll try to win there. But if we are batting, probably we can last the whole day. So that should be the mentality. We shouldn't be losing wickets is the key.
No,
I don't even mind if we don't make any runs.
Go wicket split today.
So Billy's prediction is all out today, and he apologises for that. That's okay, Billy. It's probably going to happen. Cal, your prediction, not your heart, but your head. What's going to happen rest of today or tomorrow? Where does it end?
I've just got a feeling, yeah, that these two are going to stay there all day. I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got a feeling. I don't know why. For some reason,
no, Cal, it's not something they haven't done before. If you look at the last Test match, they were able
exactly.
to
That's what I'm saying.
Until the
we
end.
Just need a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on,
look, what you got to bear in mind, yeah, Azhar Ali has made double centuries, triple centuries. So it's not as though that he hasn't, been, had time at the crease, that kind of long time at the crease he has. So, and Harris just needs to bat with him. That's it. You know what I'm saying? We just need a bit of luck, like they had. That's all we need.
Eight dropped catches.
Yeah.
That's not luck. That was incompetency.
Shaz, what's your prediction? What's happening by the close of play today?
Yeah, okay, they had a bit extra than that, bro.
Shaz?
I feel like the way they are surviving, the way they are playing, it seems to me that they will last the next session at least. In the last session, before the close of play closes, there's always something going on.
That's very.
So they might lose a wicket, but I want them to stay on focused. When it's the last 2 overs happening, they bring in all the fielders close to the player. They try to build pressure. That will happen. This is what they have to be courageous. They have to fend it off. If they are able to survive today without losing any wicket, that's my heart. But my mind said they might lose a wicket. Then tomorrow will be very interesting, because the last Test match, we were able to drag it out to the last session. Even the last 2 overs, we just had to defend, but we lost, I think, 6 wickets in the span of just 10 overs. So that's what we need to avoid. We are in a very, very similar scenario. So going into tomorrow, the last day, we have some wickets left. Just try to defend it off. But again, this is what I want. Practically, what Billy and others are saying, that might be the practical thing to say. But that's what we're hoping for.
I think we'll make it to day 5, but I don't think it'll be like last game. I think we might be 6 or 7 down overnight, and I would predict New Zealand win it by maybe lunchtime tomorrow. Okay, last couple of comments then. So Harris says, thoughts on Harris so far? I think the unanimous verdict, despite Saad's comment that he's good batsman, technically gifted, I agree he is. I think most of us probably think Harris is, even if unless he gets 150, okay, I think Harris is out of the team for the next game. So and I think most of us would probably drop him, because he just doesn't look like he's in any kind of form. But he's obviously 15 not out now, and inshallah he goes on and plays well. And I think that's Saad done for the day.
Harris, yeah.
Go on, Cal, quickly.
He's talking about Harris, Doc, yeah. I don't know if you realised, yeah. Have you seen Azhar guiding him, yeah? And he's looking to Azhar to tell him what he's doing, how he's doing his technique. I've seen it earlier on. I don't know if you've seen it when he was batting.
That's a good point, Cal.
They were talking to him. He's telling him.
That's a really good point. Because having a senior playing alongside with you on the other end, it does make a difference. Like, it gives you that confidence boost. Like, if you're doing something wrong, that will also take some of that, heavy shoulder off Harris. If he has Azhar on the other end, because he can look up to him, rely on him, and just guide him. And hopefully that will mold into a position where we don't lose any wickets. And tomorrow we are able to defend it off. and draw this test match.
We've still got Fawad Alam to come. So he knows how to save a test match. So there's a chance for one of these guys to be a
Oh
hero.
yeah, we got Fawad. Yeah.
We are always going to remember.
I'm telling you, yeah, Doc. I'm telling you. Now you just boosted my confidence there. That's it. I forgot Fawad. That's it. We're saving this test, bro. I'm telling you, we're saving this test 100%.
If you look at it, like the next two batsmen, Fawad Alam and Rizwan, let's not forget him. He has been absolutely amazing.
We're going to win this game. What are we talking about? We're going to win it.
We're getting too optimistic now, just to draw the achievement.
We will always remember the last game for Fawad's 100, and this is a thing, isn't it? Okay, Pakistan lost the game, and we lost. It was heartbreaking at the end, but we'll never ever forget the way Fawad played and the courage he showed, and the way Rizwan played. So these lads who are at the crease now and the lads who are to come should take some kind of inspiration from that you can become a hero. And even if we only draw this game, or even if we barely lose it, if someone gets some epic double 100 in this game, it's a chance to, slightly selfishly, I guess, kind of enhance your legacy and go down as a bit of a hero like the guy did in the last game. So inshallah, that's how they think about it, and that's how they go about playing. Thanks everyone for watching. This lovely last comment from Billy about feeling part of the show. So anyone who is watching, tell everyone you know, your friends, what we supposed to say, like, share and subscribe, or whatever it is. But anyway, just tell people who you think might be interested in cricket. Oh, for God's sake, we've just lost a wicket. Oh, okay.
I'm
well,
joking.
Harris has gone. So that's the end of that, isn't it? I was going to end on a happy note as well. And Harris is he's, let me see how he got out. I think he just fended at one, and he's been caught at first or second slip. A ball angling across him, and he's been caught behind. What a horrible way to finish.
It took me like 15-20 minutes to motivate myself and you guys, but literally this is not helping us.
Okay, well, there's still a chance. There's still a chance for one of the lads to be a hero.
Let's end the show.
Yeah. As Alan Partridge used to say, on that bombshell, thanks very much everyone for watching. Tell everyone that you know that this is just a show to talk about cricket. We'll talk about cricket for hours and hours and hours, and we'll try and make it as interactive as we can. So join in and watch when you can. If there is a game on tomorrow, I'm sure inshallah we'll be back at 9:30 to 10 o'clock to talk about it, and hopefully see as many of you as we can at that point. So different host, but same ending. We always end with Pakistan.
Zindabad.
Zindabad.
Allah Hafiz.
Thank you everyone for joining us, and Allah Hafiz. Good night.
Thank you, guys.